Welcome back to Hidden Power. This is a Pokemon podcast, and this is day 2 of our Pokemon Day 2025 Presents coverage. We're talking all about Pokemon Legends ZA. We're talking Pokemon Champions. And today, we're joined by some guests. My name is DustyGogoat. I'm also joined by, I'm just going to fire it off, guys. Trader Lumi. We're here with SoulSilverArt and JPR. And,
hello.
Yeah, you all have to say hello. And then AJ from Watch
hello.
Redirect.
Hi, I too am here.
What's up, guys? How we feeling? Has anyone have you guys slept at all? Are we what's the energy
Not
like
a
right
whole
now?
lot.
How much
Not a whole
caffeine is
lot.
in our blood?
You know, my eyes have closed at some point.
It feels like it was way easier to sleep last night than the night before. You kind of keep
Yes.
yourself awake going,
I-
oh my
I
god,
agree.
are they
I
actually
do.
going to reveal anything? What if they reveal nothing? What if we have another drought year? Oh my god.
Dude, 100%. I edited a video this morning. I recorded a video at like 6 o'clock this morning because I woke up at like 5. Then I was editing it around 8, and I noticed I'm dead serious. There is a point where I nodded off. Like there's like a full like minute of me just on camera.
Oh,
That's actually hilarious.
we've been talking about bad dreams. I've had bad dreams where like I fall asleep during a podcast or like during like a live stream episode.
That's funny.
Man, so are the Rocket Radio boys, they that boring to you, man? What
Man,
you saying?
sometimes they start talking about like Andy Poke or something, and I'm like,
Yeah, and that's why you're here. That's why you're here on this
hilarious.
podcast today. That's funny. Yeah. Okay, let's start the show. Okay, we streamed for like 6 hours yesterday, and right at the tail end of the show, we had a question. There was kind of a discrepancy in, so in the English trailer, there is an announcement, and they very clearly state that like Legends ZA is going to release at the end of this year. I think they just literally say like late 2025.
Late 2025.
Yeah. But there's a kind of a contingency on that. If we take a look at the kanji in I think the Japanese version of this trailer, we did a little bit of sleuthing. We talked to one of our friends, Pokosutami, who is in Japan, and we might have a little bit more information. I don't know who wants to take that take it away from there.
All right, I will. Yeah, basically just like what Dusty said. This is about languages, right? And Japan is like the original place where this all originates from. So it's more important than whatever we get. It doesn't translate well. So basically, all of that being said, in Japan, it says autumn 2025. And so we asked Pokosutami to check and see if what the past like games were, what their release window was as well, and it was winter for Scarlet and Violet. She didn't check Sword and Shield, but so like anytime that in English it would say late. When did Scarlet and Violet come out? 2022. Okay, so it said late 2022 for Scarlet and Violet in English, but in Japanese it said winter 2022. So for this game, it says fall, basically 2022, autumn 2022 or 2025, sorry. And yeah, that's about it. So that's kind of a huge thing there.
It makes sense too when you couple in that, like, you know, we know the Nintendo Switch 2. We're all assuming it launches this year, right?
I mean, it says 2025. It says 2025.
Yeah, we know
it was
it's
confirmed 2020. Okay, see,
Yeah, we just don't know when.
I'm on Pokemon Day, so I've forgotten the Switch 2 stuff.
Yeah,
but,
you're like.
it,
did we even get a trailer?
It is.
You're still
Right.
living in.
it makes sense.
February
that, like,
26th.
they might have a game planned for the Switch 2 already in November, because like we know that like from like the Terra Leak that Legends ZA's development was like it was supposed to come out November of 2024 when they were developing the game. So it's like it makes sense that if that was their development timetable, Nintendo goes ahead and slates something for November 2025, and then you know now they're telling Legends ZA like you can't be the November game. We've already got a November game book.
I want to suggest one thing. And I don't know, but I remember, I think it was for the DLC, when they announced that the DLC for Scarlet and Violet would come out in the winter. That was just generally very confusing because the winter is literally partially in both years because it's kind of just like the crossover point into the new year. So I wonder if they're, just to be a little bit clearer, they say autumn or fall or whatever, because to me, November is is the autumn. I don't know. That
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
so
a little misleading
that's what I'm
because
thinking.
they said winter for Scarlet and Violet, but it definitely came out in the fall.
Yeah.
It's
So anyways, we
interesting.
just wanted to follow up on that.
It's a cultural context thing, right? So it's like, when do they think that autumn is, and when do they think that winter is, kind of thing. Tutami was saying to us that basically, I think it starts September 23rd, their fall or whatever, and then it lasts till like around the end of November.
Yeah.
But she said the cultural context of it all is like, once the leaves are all like gone, they're like, it's winter time. You know what I mean? So
Sure.
and it gets cold there. So yeah, I don't know.
All right.
It's a bit.
I think
it's
that
just
also makes
interesting.
sense, like commercially, like
Yeah.
when businesses, particularly in like entertainment, gaming, predominantly, when they say it's fall insert year, it's more so like they're talking about the quarter. They don't like actually mean like the calendar, what day and what month is it officially like winter
does the last
solstice or
leaf
whatever.
fall?
Yeah, they're like, we start promoting for the holiday season in early November, so that's the holiday season. Period.
Yeah.
That's winter to us. And then especially if they say fall 2024, you know, or even winter 2024, that just means late November, early December, because they're not going to release a game in mid to late December.
Sure.
There's a lot about it, like, but specifically that they use two different words. You know, that's the biggest thing for me, is just like, why not use winter again if it was going to be that like winter?
Yeah.
So they use fall. It's weird. But
So
the other
if
thing
it's
is,
in the fall, I guess the thing that I'm thinking about, if it's in the fall, what is the earliest it can be? Like September?
I think it's a September game. Yeah. I think it's a September
Okay,
game.
great.
Because I was
Okay.
thinking it was going to be earlier anyway. Like, I was surprised that they said late 2025.
I think most
I
of
don't
us
even
were.
know, because September is like 2/3 summer if you want to get like really
That's true.
technical about it.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, but
I'm still
My
sunbathing.
birthday is September 23rd, so I know like when autumn starts. It's like
But they called,
but that's
like,
not how Nintendo talks about September.
Right.
That's true.
Basically. Like,
Every-
that's fall
everyone
to
has
them.
got a different definition depending.
Mhm.
on
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's just a cultural context. Because, for where you live, that also makes sense to you. But people maybe in a more northern area and, you know, the East, it's a whole different
If you
world
live in
over
Florida,
there.
it's still summertime. Like
Yeah, it's summer all year long. What is it? It's like 80-something right now.
I'm coming down.
In New Hampshire, it is literally winter 2025 right now. Like, I'm freezing.
Exactly.
It'll stay that way till June.
There was one other thing, and it's crazy that AJ, you think September, because that's amazing to me. But also, I didn't think a lot of people expected that. But also, Champions is a thing to throw into the mix. I think personally, if it was just a mobile game, then I wouldn't have any thoughts on it at all. But I think it being like a hard Switch game, whatever it's going to be, Switch 2. Because they did say, like, this is for the Switch family, they said. I think it's probably going to... I think it's probably going to come out after Legends ZA. And so we got the Gen 10 announcement, like, next February, a year from now. So it's got, like, this short of a little window to, like, get some time on its own. I'm talking about Champions.
I think so. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think they look at Champions in the same way that they look at a traditional Pokemon release. I think they look at Champions like they look at Pokemon TCG Pocket or Pokemon Unite, where it's it's something that's important, but I think it's a more ubiquitous, like, live service adjacent kind of
investment. It appeals more to the
them.
competitive player than the casuals who will buy ZA.
Yeah. Yeah, like this isn't something that they'll be promoting in the same way, where it's like, yo, live through the journey and blah blah blah. It's like, here's this thing that will always exist. We want you to be engrossed in some level to Pokemon for Pokemon without.
Didn't they release Battle Revolution around the exact same time as Diamond and Pearl?
Let me look it up.
One other.
Oh, you got it, Lumi?
Yeah.
One other thing that might play
the thing with that's tricky is, okay, so Battle Revolution released for Japan, it was December 14th, 2006. For North America, it was June 25th, because, you know, the releases weren't simultaneous back then. It was June 25th, 2007, November 22nd for Australia, 2007, and December 7th for Europe. whereas Diamond and Pearl was
About a month to 2 months after Diamond and Pearl.
Yeah, so for them it was September for Japan, April for North America, July for Europe, and June for Australia. So it seems to vary a decent bit for all of them, but it was like 2 to 4 months.
Yeah, no, that is interesting.
I think it's really hard to go off of those, though.
Yeah, it's not only
it was a
are
while
those
ago.
games so long ago, but also this is a mobile game, and the landscape is so different. I really feel like Champions is going to actually. Our guest yesterday, Zatumi, actually made the comment that that Champions is likely going to be a kind of a gateway into like the standard VGC, similar to how he started playing TCG Pocket and now he's playing like real TCG, which is hilarious because he was a Fakemon guy with me for a while. We got some super chats here that are kind of related. Pico Hoomst with the $5. Thank you for watching the stream and supporting. How expensive will Champions be? Do you think it will have the option for ZA and Arceus styles of battle? So there's kind of two questions there. I think I saw that like Centro was saying that it's going to be a paid game, and I don't think we actually know that.
I think they did say that it's a paid game, but it's digital only.
It's like a
as
subscription service like Pokemon Home.
Sure, okay, yeah. Rather than like a
and it's
$60
digital only,
flat
which
out
is
fee.
Kind of ties into what AJ was saying about how the promotion for it's going to be so different from like not only from the mainline games, but even from other spinoffs, because they won't be selling it. You cannot go to your GameStop and buy a cartridge for Pokemon Champions and stick it in your Switch. You know?
Okay.
Yeah, and that's interesting to hear as far as like thinking of it as a gateway, because I kind of think it's like on the other end of the gate. I see it as like, especially
that's interesting.
Especially them revealing it in this presents specifically in this way, where they're like, yo, here's this VGC thing, it's this super traditional thing, and then here's ZA, where I'm sure we'll talk about it. There's this new battle system, we're trying new things, so on and so forth. I think that this is the end result for VGC. I think that this says a lot about them being like, all right, we know we have this battle system. We've done it for the last 30 years. Maybe we do something else. But if that's going to backfire on us, here's this. You have this just in case. You can play VGC, all your different styles, every generation. You could do your different evolutions. You can do Dynamax and Mega Evolution, all that stuff, all in this one game. And we're trying other things over here.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't think it's like a Pocket situation where, because Champions does it like Pocket, Pokemon TCG Pocket, right? We have that. We have Pokemon TCG Live, where it's like Pokemon TCG Live is like, this is just the TCG experience. You play TCG. Pocket is a gateway, and you could tell it's a gateway because it's called Pocket. Yeah, nothing about Champions is like, here's this mini version of the thing that we have.
Yeah.
I think that it's Pokemon Showdown, but officially they want you to
hope anyway. I would
think so.
I don't think, and here's the thing. I don't think that it's Pokemon Showdown in every facet. I don't think a lot of people that are fans of Pokemon Showdown will be fans of this, because I do think that it's going to be the Pokemonified Pokemon Showdown. They still are going to want you to train your Pokemon. They're not. You're not going to let you dial in your IVs.
No,
you know?
I disagree because
no, I don't think so.
If you have to IV train your Pokemon and do all that stuff that you normally do in the standard game, then I don't know why this game would exist. I feel like
because
you'll
have more time.
I know, but this game connects with home, right? And so the advantage of playing this game is all you have to do is have that Pokemon as a body in home. And now when you go into Champions, like I can see that there being a whole toggle, right? Like in Pokemon Stadium, you can like scroll through all the Pokemon, right? You can see Caterpie, Articuno, whatever, right? Like, and you choose whatever one you want to use. And if you don't have it in home, then it'll just be blurred out. So what you would do is you would select the Pokemon, and then you select which moves you want. Because the Pokemon at home, like the move set, you can't have items in Pokemon Home, right? You can't have items.
Sure.
So everything changes game to game. So I think in Champions, I do think there's a possibility that there is some like straight in the game customization. You can min-max your Pokemon however it makes sense.
I would hope so. Then
my
probably
thing
gets wiped when you take the Pokemon out of the game.
What I think happens in this scenario, just based off of what they've done, and I leave room for them to change what they usually do. I'm a huge stickler on people being like, well, precedent set, because they've been doing
they change everything.
Precedent breaking things this whole generation.
There's two Johto starters in Legend ZA.
Exactly. So precedent means nothing. But if we're going based on the company that we've known for the last 29 years, I could easily see this being Pokemon Stadium, where it's like every Pokemon that is available in Pokemon Champions, they have in there, but they have pre-built movesets, pre-built IVs, pre-built EVs that are based on whatever. Either it's like, these are the popular builds, these are the ones that we think are going to be good. I don't think that they're going to be like, here, change this and min-max and do what you want to do. Yeah. That's where home comes in. Where it's like, if you do want to min-max and have these very specific stats, you use your Pokemon from your other game. And since it's not like, since this isn't like an extension of home, since it's not literally them being like, here's a large update to the Pokemon home app, I think that this is another destination for your Pokemon. I don't think that it's like, okay, here's your Charizard, and Pokemon Champions, it has these IVs and EVs that you built on a slider, and in Pokemon Home it's wiped. It's like, no, you drop your Pokemon in this game, and that's the Pokemon that as it exists, how you put it in here, because you built the Pokemon in whatever game you trained it up in, and this is how it exists in Champions.
Cool.
I think if it was something that like talk to other games like Pokemon Home does, where it's like, okay, we can see like, this is the state of your Pokemon and it's intact still in Champions without it having to be like, in a sense, stored in Champions, then maybe we get the min-maxing. But since this is just another like de facto destination for your Pokemon, I think it is a thing that's like, set up your Pokemon, set the moves, IVs, EVs, hidden ability, whatever, and put it in Champions.
I think I kind of like
it could
that.
be a mix between what both AJ and Dusty are saying, where like because Dusty, you were saying, you know, to do it for your Pokemon, to min-max your Pokemon. I think there's a chance they let you create Pokemon to min-max, because there's this little like
there's like a disclaimer
tidbit, disclaimer, where they say, you know, Pokemon that you get in Pokemon Champions cannot be sent to Pokemon Home. So that's confirmation that you will get Pokemon in Pokemon Champions. And I'm thinking like, maybe it's because they'll let you customize your Pokemon however you want to test it out, because that's like the number one reason competitive players use Showdown, is so they can really quickly go EV. They can EV by punching in numbers.
I bet they'll have the rental Pokemon similar to Battle Evolution.
Or some kind of testing thing.
I do think the test. No, that's a great point, Soul, because like I do think a huge aspect, the value of Pokemon Showdown, that illegal third-party app, is the fact that it's that competitive people can test things out before they actually make it in the main game. That's at least how I used it when I battled, you know, and I never went to a tournament, but that is how I used to use it.
You just said something really big, though, I think. You said you referred to Showdown as an illegal third-party thing.
Am I
wrong?
That's
my next question. My next question is whether or not you can, in Champions, you know, create your own Pokemon, basically. Like, you know, punch in your EVs to test. Whether or not they do that, there is a chance that this is the end of Showdown, in the sense that
there's such a big chance
Nintendo guns it, because it's a competitor now.
Yeah, it's true.
It could be like how they gunned down Pixelmon when Pokemon Quest was coming out, like something even remotely similar. They're like, all right, it's gotta go now.
Wow.
Right,
I mean,
man,
for what it's worth, that's how copyright law works. That's how it works.
Absolutely.
It's just like, if you don't do that and you're aware of it, other companies that are malicious can use that to their advantage. Even if like Pokemon Showdown, it is like, we know, is like this like labor of love, it's this fan-made thing. A big evil corporation, muscle twirling, cat petting villain can be like, well, you let Showdown steal your IP, why can't I? And then the courts have to be like, yeah, that's true, you got a good point. So like, that's why that stuff happens.
We better hope that the Pokemon Company or Game Freak doesn't start a Pokemon podcast. Let's cross our fingers, guys. Let's cross our fingers, or we're cooked.
But I mean, it does make sense. Like if you're the Pokemon company, and I am not remotely advocating that I want this to happen. I definitely don't. But if you're the Pokemon company and you're making this thing, Pokemon Champions, with people like Wolf Glick or like Aaron Traylor, like these big VGC names in mind, and then they're still using Showdown so they can min-max things, you might go, kill Showdown, you know?
Yeah.
Someone take him out.
Yeah.
So they use our stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And I think the only reason they haven't done that already is because Showdown has provided such an easy gateway into the competitive Pokemon area.
In a lot of ways,
And
Showdown
in a way that
is
they
the
can't
TCG
right now.
Pocket. It is that kind of version. Like, I loved it growing up because I could play it on my MacBook in and out of class, right? But like I could like just whip together a team and we're battling immediately.
Oh, you ever open Showdown in the middle of a class and it blares like that rival battlefield from Gen 4? You're like, oh no.
Turn it down.
The most embarrassed you'll ever be in your entire life.
I mean, we were having a conversation recently with someone. They were talking about like, you know, the Pokemon company and them working with other people. And like something they pointed out was like, you notice that the Pokemon company worked with, like, they directly collaborated with Post Malone. Post Malone, you know, has songs that are not remotely kid-friendly, like, are not in line with the Pokemon's image, but the fact is that Pokemon collaborating with Post Malone for, you know, a little virtual concert, you know, them collabing with Ed Sheeran for a song for their games, it benefits them so much, it outweighs that, you know, maybe there's parts of their stuff that isn't aligning with the brand. And so, likewise, like, yeah, Showdown is directly violating copyright, but the flip side is they are bringing people to their game. But it's a thing of at what point does the pro not outweigh the cons anymore? You know?
Yeah.
That's part of it. But it's also like when they identify that thing that is like so big too big to pass up on. They can put them in a walled garden. It's like, okay, here's Post Malone, and you as Pokemon fans generally have no clue who Post Malone is apart from the radio clean version of Sunflower that you heard, you know? Like you don't know all his music.
I'll admit it.
Yeah, like most of the people don't know that he has music like that, so they're able to be like, all right, make another Sunflower, make another, like it's radio friendly, it's not a lot of curse words, you're not talking about any unsavory things.
Heck, he just did a cover
know
of
your
someone
face,
else's
know your
song.
Yeah. So like that's really all they need to do. Whereas like Showdown, the difference here is just that most people don't know what Showdown is. That's just the long and short of it.
Yeah.
It's like super competitive Pokemon fans and people that are online, they know what Pokemon Showdown is. But if I ask my brother right now, who is a lifelong Pokemon fan like me, but does not engage with Pokemon in the same way, what Pokemon Showdown is, I guarantee you he doesn't know what it is.
Yeah.
And I live with him, and I talk about video games for a living, you know? So like the general populace is not going to know what something like Showdown
Yeah,
is.
really, Showdown really is just a tool. Because I mean, I think about like even if you were able to min-max your Pokemon in Pokemon Champions, so it is a tool, right? Like a training tool like Showdown. I still think a big benefit of Showdown is how quick the battles are. It doesn't waste time with showing, like it doesn't care about the presentation
the
of
animations.
the battle.
They're like just watch you go do a quick little flare blitz. Boom.
And that's just to help you understand like the movement of the battle. But like again, it's all about the numbers, right? It's about the
and
numbers
for
of the
VGC
battle.
players,
Yeah,
it's
that's
beneficial
important.
because they don't want to sit there for, you know, a 20-minute battle. They're wanting to know, you know, what kills my Mon and how good is my Mon at killing other Mons and outspeeding things, so they don't need the animations.
Right.
I think the bigger question is, do you guys think that this game is going to become like the new home for like VGC competitions, like official
Yes,
ones?
I do.
I think they will
For
not
several
in Gen
reasons.
10 play in that game at all.
Well, in Gen 10,
don't
I
think
do
that.
think. I think in Gen 10 it will still stay on Gen 10.
Mm-hmm.
I think that what Dusty was saying earlier is the opposite's going to happen, which is this is not a gateway to get you to play Gen 10 or to get you to play, you know, the new generation games. Even though I do think that those will stay because they will introduce the new Pokemon, but I think that because if this is like what we think it is, because we don't know really, but if it is what we think it is, and it becomes like this hub where you can do any kind of battle, this is the peak of VGC, the peak of everything that you you don't want to go back to the new gen. You want to stay on this. So everything that is
fix the problem of having to get like 5 life orbs with every single new game.
Exactly.
In that game, because the items can't be transferred.
Right.
I think
that's totally true.
So I think so. The opposite happens where people they play the game like Gen 10 game, but then for VGC they move over to this,
and they know that they can get you, but just by being like, okay, the next rule set for champions is only going to use Gen 10 Pokemon. So then you have to buy the Gen 10 game to play champions. So.
And I guess that is the big question.
Like, I was even thinking they could run 2 different circuits. You have a champion circuit and a Gen 10, eventually Gen 11, Gen 12 circuit. And what they do is like whatever the Gen 10 gimmick is, they don't put that in champions until the end of Gen 10. So it's like, you know, you've got 2 completely different games in the same sense that like Pokemon Go is completely different from Unite, which is different from VGC, different from TCG.
It would be cool if they had like various different formats going at the same time.
Oh yeah,
that would be so the Gen 10 format. This is like you can play with Z moves in Gen 7.
Yeah,
I think we're gonna
so fun.
We're definitely gonna do that no matter what. I think it's gonna be a progressive thing. Like they're not just gonna cut off Gen 10 VGC right away. It's gonna be like these are both happening at the same time until eventually this is gonna take over if it's successful. Like they're not just gonna be like, okay, we got champions.
Imagine being able to select like any regulation from like any generation from like Gen 4.
I mean that's my dream, being able to play like the Gen 5 VGC. Go.
I gotta take.
Here we go. I know what it is.
I don't think that VGC is going to mean what it means now. I don't think that Gen 10 VGC is going to be even possible in champions in the way that it looks right now. I think that there is a very real possibility that Gen 10 tries a lot of new things with the battle system that changes what VGC means.
So you don't even think that they would keep the same turn-based battle system for the future?
Not for Gen 10. I think that they still keep VGC. I think VGC still exists, but I think instead of VGC being a vehicle for mainline Pokemon games, I think VGC is a legacy tournament thing for the VGC fans, and the new vehicle for tournament fans of Pokemon is still going to be the mainline game, but the mainline game's battle system isn't going to be the same as VGC is now.
Damn, that's literally Lumi's worst nightmare. We were discussing this yesterday, and I was like, it'll never change. But
I'm telling you,
I think
dude,
if I can see this vision. I can see this vision because, like, as an onlooker, I actually think. I mean, it is fun to watch VGC if you know what's going on. But as an onlooker, as someone who's not very knowledgeable about all the intricacies, it is kind of It's not as entertaining as watching, a battle where you're seeing Pokemon move around. Right?
It's not as entertaining as Marvel Rivals, or
just as an
League of Legends,
as an
onlooker. There's all the biggest esports in the world they look very different from that. And I'll say I think like Pokemon fans, TM, they hold Pokemon. They hold VGC a lot more sacred than the world holds VGC. Like most people, I would say, see Pokemon's battle system as a means to an end. It's a hindrance, if anything. It's like, I like Pokemon a lot, so I'll deal with this.
And then you're talking about the wider population.
Yeah,
of like
I mean, like the
right?
world. I mean, like the Bob Wolfs of the world. They know who Pikachu is, and they think he's really cute, and they'll play the game.
And he likes Let's Go
really
Pikachu
cute.
and Eevee.
Right, and they'll play Pokemon because Pikachu's really cute and Charizard's cool, right?
Yeah.
But they're like, oh, the battle system is so annoying.
That's
I don't have fun with
my
this.
concern
I
with
am
changing
tapping
to something like the ZA battle system, for instance, is like they already have the game disconnect half the time with Scarlet and Violet. If it's like lagging and whatnot, they're like running around on there. I mean, competitive players are going to be pissed.
I think that's exactly why Champions exists. I think Champions is a safety net. I think Champions is like
VGC has grown so much, and like just the last year, even like it's funny. There's literally a meme about it that when Wolfglick won Orlando 2023, or Charlotte 2023, it was the biggest tournament that had ever been done. Then he won Orlando 2024, and it was the biggest tournament ever. And then he won Charlotte. That was the biggest tournament ever.
That was the biggest tournament.
Then he won EUIC. It's the biggest one ever.
Right.
And so
this
it's
is all
growing
true.
and growing and growing. So I do kind of wonder, they're seeing this tremendous exponential growth, and they go, let's completely get rid of it and do a completely new
I don't think they get rid of it.
That would be so game freak.
I think them doing champions is the opposite of them getting rid of it.
Sure, they're just adding another thing.
Yeah, I don't think they get rid of it.
I can see letting it and having like a new battle system be part of it, but I think they would never fully get rid of VGC or have VGC be like the king moneymaker.
I think that's a great point, JPR. I think the opportunity is maybe we could see a VGC, like you split the VGC into, so you have classic doubles, but then maybe you also have a 1v1 tournament, I mean, that's just a dream based on a lot of people who enjoy battling. Like I associate Pokemon battles 1v1, right? I mean, that's what they're showing us in the trailer for ZA. That's like how you play most Pokemon games.
That's what you watch in the anime. You see
that's what you see in the anime. That's what you see in the movies. That's what you see in the card game. That's what you see in the manga. That's what you see in every other medium.
And I think the problem with 1v1 until this point is that, like, and I'm gonna make some people mad. I mean, I primarily play singles. This is a disclaimer.
We all love singles here.
But I feel like the strategy in doubles. I'm not gonna say there's no strategy in singles. There's plenty of strategy in singles. But I think that there is more in the game that is built around doubles strategies. And like if they had to change the singles battle system to make VGC relevant for that, it's a possibility. We'll see.
So I have more.
No, hold on. I want to hear it. I want to hear it. I'm going to read some super chats and then I want to hear that. We got Normal Guy had donated $5. Appreciate that. It's a little off topic. We will get to this later. They say Tepig line supremacy, especially Shiny Emboar, best Shiny Fire starter type starter.
Ooh.
And it is good. It is good. Not that
it is good. It's a good Shiny,
but it's a good Shiny.
Oh, it's shiny. I will say that.
Listen, we're gonna talk starters in a little bit, so just stay tuned. Stay tuned. Thank you for the support. We also have $5 from SoulAnt64. Thank you. They say, as a Gen 4 fan, BDSP brought nothing new to Gen 4 starters. Any hope for the future? Hold on. As a Gen 4 fan, BDSP brought nothing new to Gen 4 starters. Is there any hope for the future? My Turtwig deserves a new form. Love the pod. Keep it up. Thank you, Soul Ant. Appreciate it. Anyway.
Who knows?
They'll be doing starters in a Legends game eventually in the original form.
I'm with them though. Those Pokemon, I feel like they should have, because they did the whole two Johto and a Unova thing. I feel like they should have done just all Gym 4, just because if they're doing Megas, and I'm assuming they are, the Gym 4 starters are like primed for a Mega. Like they look like Pokemon. I mean, JPR, you're familiar with the anime. Ash's Infernape literally went Super Saiyan all the time. Like, just give it a form.
No, absolutely. We got another super chat here by Normal Guy. Thank you for all the support. They say, my favorite game from Worlds was Pokken. Still sad that they got rid of it, hoping for a sequel.
That's a great point. We were talking about how, like, VGC doesn't really have, like, that mainstream pizzazz that, like, a real-time battle system would have. Pokken absolutely had that, and they let it die.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Maybe I mean, I think that's because Pokemon on the Switch honestly was worse than on the Wii U. That's my hot take. Like,
but also like a fighting game's not more like it's more mainstream to look at, but it's not more mainstream to play. I think that's like a whole different.
That's also true. Like there was a big barrier of entry to Pokemon. Like it was a very complicated fighting game, and like not everyone really stuck with it. Like only the hardcore people kept playing Pokemon.
Right.
I think why something like Super Smash Brothers is so successful as an esport is because it's both very casual and very competitive at the same time. Like casuals can appreciate watching a high-level player play that game because they're like, oh, I know how to do all the basic stuff in this game, just not to this level.
It's got that Mario... that fun Mario RNG, just infused with everything about the game.
Whereas Pokemon is like, here, sit down, do a 45-minute tutorial on how to learn all your moves, and it loses a lot of people right out the gate.
It's easy for something like Smash to be identifiable to the common person because you all know somebody that is like that gatekeeper. You know, it might even be you. That's like, all right, there's that one friend that is so good at this game. And then you look at competitive Smash as an esport, and there's people that guy couldn't even take a stock off of. So it's like, oh my, like there's
that was my friend.
It's like any other. It's any other major sport. It's like, I've played basketball before. Yeah, you played basketball before, but you're not LeBron James.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, Pokken doesn't really have that, where it's like everybody that plays Pokken regularly that you can that you know of is probably the guy that's played basketball before. It's very unlikely that you know even like college basketball star. You definitely don't know somebody that's even close to a LeBron James. You know what I mean? But in stuff like Smash, stuff like Call of Duty, stuff like any major like esport, there's that like very well defined and more approachable hierarchy that anybody that's watching can look at and see like, oh, I can tell why this is impressive. I can see how it's achievable for people that want to be on the on-ramp and also try to compete. And, you know, so on and so forth. All that stuff I think is important for a sport to become something that is like viewable and needs to be relatable. It can't just be like, you know, strategic or whatever. It needs to be relatable. It needs to be fun to play,
accessible.
Fun to watch.
Yeah, absolutely.
Accessible.
Pick up and play. Absolutely. Yeah. Like, honestly, and I think a lot of these games, a lot of these competitive games that Nintendo puts out, they function like party games. Like Smash to me in college was always a party game. You know, it was like, oh, a bunch of people are together. Let's play Smash. That's the excuse to hang out. You know,
a little bit has changed since then. But.
Sure,
Pokken would have also benefited.
Well, there was competitive
like
then, too.
any future games like that. They probably benefit with like Pokemon got Let's Go. I hate on Let's Go so much, but one thing they did great about that and Pokemon Go was they literally debuted a new Pokemon in those games. And so I feel like if they wanted Pokken to get more attention and get more people on it, then what you do is you know, hypothetically, if we're assuming Gen 10's coming out November 2026, June 2026, you drop Pokken Tournament, and there's a brand new Pokemon in it, maybe even a brand new line of Pokemon in it. And you go, these Pokemon will be available in the Gen 10 game. You want to see them 6 months early? Play Pokken or whatever.
Yeah.
And then what happens is
people... the Ranger Manaphy. Make it so you have to get your
seriously. It's literally that. And think about it, like, you know, I don't know everyone's situation here. I have never touched Pokken. I know Soul, you know, you always talk about how you don't touch Unite, you don't touch Go, all this stuff. But see, you would if that was how you play with the new Pokemon 6 months early. Yeah. And then some people like you will pick up that game, they'll be playing it, and they'll be like, oh, cool, I'm glad I got to see this new Pokemon. And you know what? I'm kind of loving this game, you know?
I think above all else, like a Pokken sequel would benefit so much from just being like more streamlined and simple. Like I think the original Pokken was just doing a little too much. Yeah. Like if it was purely a 2D fighter, I think it would have resonated with like both the casual and the competitive fan base a lot more. I think the phase shifts and the huge particle effects made it hard to watch on stream too, like the lower bit rates and whatnot. Okay. I mean, you'd be like, what the heck is going on here? I mean, the game was doing a little too much in multiple avenues. That was my biggest complaint about it. But it was overall fun. I'd like to see them give another crack at it.
Even though I haven't played it, visually it looks like there's a lot of similar DNA in Pokken. That is maybe in Legends ZA and some of that combat. I mean, it's definitely.
I mean, it's the same because it's action.
Yeah, just because it's action,
kind of
really
feels like that. But it's a fighting
got like
game.
that arena fighter. Feel
it's
very
different. It's very different.
And we don't totally know how the gameplay is going to work. Because but anyway, we got some super chats here. I don't want to ignore these super chats. I'm enjoying this conversation about Pokemon Champions, which is pretty cool to say. Let's see. We got we read.
As if there was anything else to talk about.
Yeah, I know.
Well,
that's it. Stream's over.
Dude, mention the super chat. Don't say what I'm thinking because I do have one complaint about Champions, and I'll get into it.
Shiny Zillamon with the $5 says probably reaching, but are the rivals' characters' hair similar to the white and pink in the Legends ZA logo? Also, you all might be my favorite podcast ever. Love that. Would be.
I'll let JPR hear you say that.
Next
I'm here, so I'm part of the podcast. So
that's true.
Because JPR was on today.
Yeah, you're replacing Hybrid. Hybrid was the resident.
If Hybrid was on here, he wouldn't have said that. He wouldn't have said this is his favorite podcast.
Yeah. That's right.
Let's see. We get the rivals right here. I think it makes sense. There was a little bit. So in the logo, basically, there's a little bit of. So just for listeners, in the logo, right? You got the Pokemon. Text. It is
word.
Yeah, the word Pokemon in the Legends ZA logo is that shade of pink. So the big question is like,
it was blue in Arceus, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just think it's interesting.
Could be. They could play a role in the story, and
yeah,
or
maybe they come from a different town, or I don't know.
Yeah.
Was there any significance to the blue in Legends Arceus?
Not really.
I don't think so.
You could say.
I mean, absolutely nothing.
Dialga's blue.
Yeah, that's
Primal Dialga. Yeah, I mean, sure.
We also have
Sky is blue.
H8 Davis with the $2 says Jet looks like Glitterati. Could be Nemona's mom.
I don't know about Nemona's mom, but I love the take of her
see.
being Glitterati. She does kind of look like Glitterati.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's definitely rich.
My crackpot theory, my craziest Pokemon theory. Ash Ketchum is Nemona's father.
Dude, I love that. That's cool. She has that energy.
That makes sense.
That makes sense. Same personality. Why does she have a picture of Ash Greninja in her house?
Yeah, she has
why is she the only one that knows about it? Hold on.
Yeah.
It's actually wild.
Well, also, where are her parents? Why is her
where is
parents
True.
traveling the world? What's he
True.
doing? Is he maybe a champion trainer? Like
the love for battling straight from her dad, you know?
But how did he become a businessman? That's the question.
Her partner is a Pika clone.
That part of the theory has not been answered yet.
He took over the Pokemon company and is just making millions.
You know what? Maybe, maybe he started, managing the matches, like managing the what was it, the World Coronation Series? Was that what it was called?
Yeah,
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Anyway.
We also have Jesper here with the. I gotta remember, not every donation is in dollar bills, but we got the 100 right here. Thank you so much. Any support is helpful. Casual Pokemon player that has every copy of the games. I don't do competitive. Only thing I dislike about Legends Arceus because the lack of turn-based battles. Champions is exciting to me as a casual fan, and that's true. I do think
good man.
Yeah, I think
so. I'll say I disagree with the aspect of this that you're a casual player. Because a casual player doesn't have every copy of the games.
Sure.
And a casual player is not watching a Pokemon podcast live. A casual player plays a Pokemon game every once in a while. They may be aware that it's coming out. Again, to use my brother as a reference, anecdotally, I don't even know if my brother knows Pokemon Legends EA is coming out this year.
Yeah. Those are going to be the best phone calls this year.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's literally downstairs probably. I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't know.
Keep it down.
I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't know that that like Pokemon Champions is a thing that exists, so on and so forth. Most times that's how it works. It's just like, yo, there's a Pokemon game. It's coming out next month. Oh, there's a Pokemon game coming out next year. And what he's going to do is he's going to get his starter. He's going to ask me to trade him the other two. He's going to catch a Pikachu. He's going to catch three other cool-ish new Pokemon that he sees on the routes. Eventually, he's going to ask me to trade him a Dragonite, and that's how he plays the game every time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's how like most actual like casual Pokemon fans like they're still the ones that get their starter up to level 92 and they bulldoze the game with flamethrower the whole time. Like that's a casual Pokemon fan.
I think maybe what this person is saying though, and this is a bigger conversation, I think this new battle system with Legends EA is perhaps turning people off because it is just a different form of battling, which is what they say. I think I mean there's maybe two ways. We talked about this a little bit yesterday. I'll speak for myself. I definitely, when Legends Arceus came out, I definitely was a little bit like, okay, this system that I've learned for the last 25 years is changing. That's a little bit jarring when the thing that you love, the thing that's like low-key part of my identity is shifting a little bit, right? It's very easy to be like, I don't like this as much. But you adapt to it, and it's a different experience. And I think this is even quite a bigger step in that direction. So again, speaking for myself, I had to learn how to play Legends Arceus. It was different to use both controllers to be able to throw and switch, my items or Pokemon, and then switch out again and then dodge. Like, it is a different gameplay. And I think a lot of Pokemon players play passively. Like, I think a lot of Pokemon players are in it not necessarily for the thrill of the game, but rather the story. They want to be in the world. It's just again, for me, it's my portal into the Pokemon world. And so when you introduce these like action elements, it's kind of jarring, because I think Pokemon games for most people are cozy games. I don't think anyone wants to talk about that. But like all these Pokemon fans and the cozy game girls, they got to get together. Like, not in that way, but just like we all got to be friends. Like, I think we're all the same type of players. We like to bundle up on the couch with a blanket and listen to a podcast and game the night away. Like, but it's chill. It's a vibe.
Talking about that on Rocket Radio last night. How
really?
Jaleel and I, we were talking about how it's like, it used to be, you can lay back in your chair. You can just kind of like click off some turn-based battles, turn your brain off, maybe scroll your phone with one hand or whatever. Here, you got to be locked in. You got to be locked in for these battles. You got to use some strategy.
So my thing is, and I want to be clear, I'm not trying to say that like people like this don't exist. I don't think that opinion's not valid. I'm more so saying I think that this is an opinion that's repeated a lot in these circles, to be like, well, how can Pokemon like still succeed if like for years we're used to playing this game this way and we play it as our passive game and we play it this way, right?
Yeah.
But then you look at something like Zelda, for instance, right?
Yep. We talked about this last night. Yeah, absolutely.
That biggest game was Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. It did not grow since then. But it was the biggest game, right? And it's not like the game was unsuccessful when they released new ones and stuff like that. It's still, still good for a good 7 to 9 million copies every time. But then they entirely nuked everything. And they said, okay, here's something that is like, it's familiar. It has a lot of the elements. It's still in the world. It still like has the same themes. And then it more than tripled the size of the biggest thing they've ever done.
Yeah.
Because you can't, like, to grow bigger than your ceiling, you can't be limited by your current loyal fan base.
Yeah.
And
which is
to go even further,
the 30-year-olds yapping about Pokemon on a podcast on a Friday afternoon.
And we're responsible, like our contribution is not Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. It's not Pokemon Sword and Shield. It's not Pokemon Go even.
Yeah.
It's Pokemon Emerald.
It's the ports that they need to give us on Switch 2.
Oh my god.
No, we're responsible for the least successful Pokemon games. And what I mean by that is like we're buying like the ones that we buy and we're the only ones that buy are the least successful ones. The ones that are the bigger like growth is when they try these new things, and a lot of times they're the more off-putting games to the core fan base, but they're the ones that the masses get the most excited about. Yeah. And that's who Pokemon Company is trying to get to buy these games. Like, of course they care about their core fan base, and that's why they have a Pokemon Champions. That's why they have VGC and TCG as a competitive scene, and that's why Pokemon Go has a competitive scene, because they do care about the core fans. But I don't think they'll forsake the potential for growth to be loyal to the fan that's like, well, Pokemon's my cozy game. It's my comfort zone. It's like it could be your comfort zone and you still have that. I
still have it. I totally still have it. Yeah, absolutely.
See, I think Legends solves this problem though, like because you just like the new game, the Scarlet and Violet, the Sword and Shield comes out every 3 years, and then with the exception of this time, it came out. This is 3 years later. Yeah. So then a Legends game is coming out every 3 years. So every 3 years, the guy who wants the game to change and evolve, he gets his new changed and evolved game. But the SoulSilverArts, they get their game every 3 years.
This is the thing about that, right? Especially when you're Pokemon and you're Game Freak and you're Nintendo, they know their bigger seller is the one that has the two versions, and it's the one that you build up everything around, and it's the one that the anime is based off.
Which is interesting.
So why would your mass appeal version of the game be catered towards your core fans that again, when you make a game that is strictly for them, right? Like if they actually reverted to exactly what like the core fans want, and it's like it's just this game that's like focused on even like the core casual fans, where it's like they just want to play through the campaign, they want the campaign to be richer, they want all that stuff, right? You get that 8 to 9 million copies if that's what they do, right? Whereas like I think the smarter thing to do would be to flip that and make the spin-off the one that's catering to the fans that are good for that 8 to 9 million.
And dude, and maybe that's what it looks like in 5-10 years, right? For the 40th anniversary, maybe that's what we're looking at.
Make the big release be the one that's for everybody.
No, I think, dude, let's get some stars in the chat for AJ. AJ is cooking right now. At least for me. I'm loving this right now.
I've been yelling this into the void for years.
Yeah. We just had to like press start stream and now everyone can hear you. All right. So I love that so much. Let's read some super chats. Oh yeah.
I'll just say for me, like, being probably the oldest one here and just seeing how things go in life, things change. And that's just it. Like it's just how it goes. So I'm fully expecting eventually, especially the newer generation, they're coming up on all of those kinds of like, it's just streaming and all this stuff that people watch all the time. Y'all know, y'all do it. Competitive kinds of games. And I think that Pokemon wants to tap into that. And I think that eventually it will change. It might even be Gen 10. I mean, there's the whole Synchro Machine. That whole thing could like revolutionize how gameplay is in Gen 10.
Yeah.
And then, for me personally, I've always said that I'm more of a franchise fan. So like, I'm never not going to be a Pokemon fan.
Sure.
But like, if they make games that I actually like, the main games that I don't care to play, I might end up being more of like a casual video game Pokemon fan, in the sense as like I don't play it as much or as committed. Do you know what I mean? Where it's just like, I don't have to have it. I'll buy it like months later, or like something like that.
That's crazy and that's sad, because it
is sad
hearing you say it like that. You mentioned so I mean, there's a lot of people like AJ's brother is like that, right? He's like a casual fan who like doesn't love the current Pokemon games, but maybe will be super stoked about this new title, and maybe Gen 10 will like radicalize them to be like a Pokemon fanatic.
I mean, I'm as much of a legacy fan as they come, and honestly, I'm at the point where like I'm more excited about Legends games and how experimental they are than I am about a new generation or remakes or anything like that.
And those things are still fun, because I think at the end of the day, it's like we're just talking about the gameplay experience, but I think at the end of the day, we should all be happy because we're still getting all the things that the Pokemon fans love. We're getting new lore, new characters. We are getting new Pokemon, new megas, new locations. There's new everything. It's a brand new Pokemon game.
It's the best of both worlds, because it's going to an old setting, recapturing those old fans who love that region and that setting, and then reimagining it in a completely new way that has never been done in Pokemon before.
Yeah, and if they want to put a little safety on all of this, give us Legends EA, and for people who don't maybe love this style,
I just become a Champions player. That's
no,
it.
I was gonna say they could
Champions YouTube channel.
That's it. I was gonna say they could do HD ports of like these 3DS games, like an XY game. Like we see this, like I'm sharing my screen, and if you see like this image right here, imagine this in like a polished, vibrant, HD image. Like you could still play this game. Honestly, it would look the same or better than BDSP. There's like no difference. Right? So I'm like, that could also be made available for players who want that classic experience. Let me read these super chats. Shiny Zillimon, they're commenting on what they said earlier with the $5. Thank you so much. They say, one more thing, the rivals and the end clip for the battle promotion gives Galar vibes to me. Yeah, we talked about that a little bit yesterday. At the end of the trailer, the Rotom phone pops up and is like, I think it says like, what is it? It's like promotion. It says promotional match or something. And I don't know, the word match reminds me of like a tournament or something, like a professional Pokemon tournament or something. So yeah, I could definitely see that. All right, and then we got Marav right here with the 100. Thank you so much. They say I really hope the PvP and VGC modes to Champions, as it gets many updates per year, to have a national dex, and that's the new and that's the turn-based PvP heavy game. So the main line can be free to experiment in new gameplay. I think we're gonna get a blend of all of this. Absolutely, yeah. I think that's kind of what we're touching on. That's a great point. Let's see. Normal guy with a $2 says, "How old is Soul?" Okay, well, I said it before I read it, or I thought I read it out loud before I could.
Thank you for the $2.
Yeah, thank you for the $2.
That's
yeah. Sorry, Soul.
I'm sorry.
Sorry,
but
he's older than 15, but younger than 97.
You're giving it away a little bit. You're giving it away a little bit. I think people can triangulate his age now at that point.
Wait, hang on. I have to know.
Sorry,
am I the baby in this call?
No, I think Lumi.
No, Lumi is.
Lumi's the baby? Okay, I'm always the baby. And I'm
24.
26. Okay,
yeah, see, I'm 24.
You are a baby. You're young.
Yeah. He logs off.
You're literally from this millennium, dog.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I know. It's so weird when he talks about like I was 9 years old when this came out, and I'm just like.
Well, we do like our tier list. Like when we did our Gen 2 tier list, it was so funny because I'm sitting here with these two, and they're like, I remember when I graduated from college.
Then he makes jokes like this, like I'm freaking 90.
I know.
I'm sitting here like, I don't have the attachment to this game. Never played it. This is out.
Lumi is younger than us, but he has the taste of a 65-year-old.
Yeah, this is
Southerner.
the secret. The secret is that
he's always preaching Jimmy Buffett.
The flip side is they listen to Sabrina Carpenter, Ariana Grande. I like Jimmy Buffett
and like Michael Bublé, and he's like, "Have you ever listened to Tony Bennett?" We're like, "What? Like, what are you talking about?"
Cole, man.
It might say something to your generation, actually.
Maybe it's a North Carolina thing, Lumi. We're old souls.
Yeah, it might be that.
It's true. The South has a special way.
Yeah.
Afro Hillian said Soul is timeless, so.
There we go. That's pretty good.
I'm down.
Yeah, he's so old. He's beyond time. That's right.
Jake Steinberg's in the chat.
Pain.
Jake in the chat says, "My one thing is that Game Freak doesn't have any expectations that ZA will sell more than Scarlet and Violet, but it's definitely testing and experimenting and pursuing new ideas, no doubt. Which I think that is like the safety for us, right? Because like this game is being positioned as a standalone game." Right? There's not two, like, I think when Legends Arceus came out, we were so excited about it. We were like, man, it kind of hurt its sales that they didn't give us two versions, right? If they gave us two versions, it would have sold more. And obviously the data, like the sales analyzers at Game Freak can like understand that. But if there was two versions of Legends ZA, if there was Legends Z and Legends A version, then all of a sudden it is positioned as a direct competitor or seen to the wider population that this is like the new generation game. I think those split version games it's like
helps to identify it more for the casual fan. Like
exactly.
This is the clean break.
Exactly.
Right. Also, I think that it sets a bad expectation because these games are definitely not the same, like they're definitely, and I would say they're in most ways less ambitious.
I'll say that.
Yeah, they're less ambitious than the mainline games. Like you can easily get 500 hours out of a mainline game. You're struggling to get 200 out of Arceus. Like if you don't care about shiny hunting, you're getting 100 maybe, and then you're never touching the game again.
Yeah,
like there's a reason why. Like frequently there are more people watching Pokemon Sword and Shield on Twitch.tv than are watching Pokemon Legends Arceus at any given time. It's like people played that game for 3 months on average. Like, and I don't mean like individual people. I mean like on average, like you'll see like people talking and playing Arceus for the 3 month span from when it came out, and then it plummeted from there. But other Pokemon games, they last much longer because there's so much more to do.
The lack of a multiplayer feature in that game really kind of killed it in the long run.
Yes. And any real like post game or anything like that. So if you do a Pokemon Legends Z and an A, it would have to drastically change to basically be a core mainline video game anyway.
The point of Pokemon games having two different versions is that it complements the built-in core Pokemon experience features like trading and battling, right? The whole point is that you and your friend get a different version of the game so you can complement each other's experience by interacting with each other. And and the core series games are interactive and they are living experiences where you play over a long period of time. That's what you guys are saying. Where a game like this, Pokemon Legends ZA, It is a single player game at its core, right? I mean, there could be some features hidden that we don't know, and that would be nice if you could. I think you actually can trade in Legends Arceus. So like there could be some features hidden like that, but I think at its core, Legends EA is a single player game. You're supposed to play it start to finish, and that's fine. It's an RPG. It's an action RPG, which is fine. It's just a different game.
It's just not the same. It would be disingenuous for them to try to sell Pokemon Coliseum in the same way that they sell Pokemon even Ruby and Sapphire. You know, because it is a smaller game.
Yeah, absolutely. NMT Arts, thank you so much for the $5. Says, isn't promotion match from the anime like Ash's phone would say you'll go up to the Ultra Ball tier if you beat so and so? Do you know that, JPR?
I'm really glad that they mentioned this because I had this same exact thought. So you know how Legends Arceus, they had like the star system, like the 10 stars, and like you would get points to rank up. I feel like this is going to be a similar sort of thing where it's like if you accomplish certain tasks throughout the city or beat certain people in battles, maybe that's what Prism Tower is being used for. It's like a ranked match thing. You go to the tower, you go to the first floor, and after you've gathered enough points, you fight to your rank up match, basically. And then you beat a gym leader or some notable trainer, and then you move up to the next one. You go gather more points, beat more people around the city, and then your phone notifies you, because the same thing happens for Ash. Ash has to basically go through a tier system. He starts in a tier with like 50,000 trainers, and then when he's gathered enough points to rank up into the top 1,000, they'll be like, okay, you got to battle like number 1,000 right now. Like, we got to decide who's going to move on and who's going to get left behind. And his phone would notify him, just like it does in the trailer here, funnily enough. So I think that's probably what they're going to do. Like, maybe Lumiose City has or the tower has like 10 levels to it, and you just go up like the 10 stars.
Which is exciting to me, even though it's not like traditional battling, it's still like a battle kind of factory thing or battle tower, you know? So that's fun.
And it would make sense that like a game that has this unique, I mean, Game Freak is spending time to create this battle system. It would make sense.
And Megas.
And the Megas. Yeah, that's so actually a great point. Yeah, it would make sense that they would want to create a feature for us to do to basically extend the lifespan of a playthrough, right? So we can actually continue to use that new thing that they gave us.
It's like we were talking about that one time with that one rumor where it's like they had like a battle cafe, and that was the thing that you would do.
Yeah.
That's the same exact thing, except it might be in a tower. Or it might just be out in the streets. I don't know.
I was theorizing
what would they do with the tower? Because like you can't do the gym challenge, and it was just the gym before, which was mildly disappointing, I have to say. Like it's the 5th gym. It's not even that special. Like, this is the Eiffel Tower
memorable.
we're talking about.
Yeah. I don't know.
Maybe it's not gym anymore. I mean, there's clearly like a passage of time, so maybe it's no longer a gym.
If we're on the topic of the anime also moved the Kalos League to Lumiose City, so that too.
I was kind of theorizing that like, if so we have these two evil people. I forget what their names. What is it? It's like Kenny and
I love how
Vince.
we just accept that they're already evil.
I think they are. I mean, they are, right?
I know just how Pokemon works, man. If they look evil,
they're evil.
Probably
You know what?
We all thought Clavel was going to be evil in Scarlet and Violet.
That is fair. They did do that.
Briar too.
They did do that.
Did you also think that what's her name? Like Cyrus's ancestor was going to be evil too, and she wasn't.
That is true too. I thought the Silene.
Yeah, but I'm just going off of vibes. I'm not going.
These are more recent jukes, though. To be fair, they're more recent.
Yeah.
That's true. I mean, maybe they're not evil, but anyways, I'm thinking about the idea of like mega energy, and that like whatever that energy is that fuels mega evolution, which we learned about like in X and Y, in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. I think maybe in a little bit in Sun and Moon. That energy, perhaps the battle tower is like these people are attracting trainers to that battle facility, so they undergo mega evolution and they can like siphon that energy to do something that would then disrupt the environment. Then you get Zygarde,
I think if they are villains,
clash.
If they are villains, they're going to be minor villains. I think Lysander
it's going to be like by mistake, like their heart's in the right place, kind of thing.
Sure.
I think Lysander's coming back. That's my bold opinion.
Yeah. And, it's kind of interesting on that note too. Like, if you look in the trailer, you see at one part there's a warp panel, and you see at another part there's a guy talking to like a full hologram person. The warp panels are present. They're present in every villain team, granted, but they're in the Flare base. Is the only place you can find them in the Kalos region. The Holocaster is an invention of Lysander Labs, which obviously was owned by Lysander. Big surprise. Spoiler if nobody figured that out.
Whoa, dude, come on.
But like, this is an improvement on the Holocaster, which tells me that someone has taken over Lysander Labs and someone is still pushing product. And, I don't know, like, who would that be? You'd think that Lysander Labs, like, I would like to think, if it came out that Bill Gates was a horrible person who wanted to commit genocide, Google would shut down or Windows, whatever he owns.
That's
where
Microsoft,
the Scarlet and Violet connection comes in.
Yeah.
This is my next prediction.
Let's do it.
It won't be Lysander. It's gonna be AI Lysander. It's gonna be a hologram.
Whoa.
That would be sick.
Data of himself in his lab underground. Hang on a minute. Hang on. I
That's
want to
cool.
see this.
No, you know what?
He's
There's
using
this
the
one
Holocaster?
room in the Flare base. I just finished a Pokemon X and Nuzlocke, and there's this one place in the Flare base where there are just dozens of like servers, like computer servers. Imagine that's
He was
freaking
downloading his
Lysander's brain.
consciousness the whole time.
Oh my gosh, that would be the
Oh my
coolest
gosh.
reveal ever. I'd be here for it.
That's
That sounds
nuts.
Or like
That's nuts.
somebody like Malva or Zerosik has kind of like been working in the background to like try and bring him back because he's like still trapped under the rubble in
Right.
the ultimate.
It
Blade.
needs to be one of those Flare admins because like they're the most forgettable evil team admins of all time.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
there's Mabel, Celosia, and I cannot remember
Their
and Zero
designs
Six,
are
but
not.
I don't remember
I
the
love
other
their
ones.
designs are cool. People sleeping on the designs.
I just
Maybe
wish they
they're,
did something other than use like one Pokemon.
Yeah. Maybe X and Y as a game is not the best. So.
Oh, this guy. Oh no,
Nah,
this guy's
get
coming
outta
back.
here.
This guy is coming back.
He's
Mr. Worldwide.
admin, bro.
That's the
He's
main
just an
villain.
admin.
Bald guy.
How is this guy not? Is this not an admin?
Yeah, not bald guy. That's it.
yeah,
is
bald,
an admin,
bald
but
guy. Bald
What's
guy.
interesting is ordinarily, I noticed this when I was playing through it the other time. It's funny how you can go back and play a game a million times, so you'll still get something new every time. I love that about video games.
yeah.
It truly is a form of art. But anywho, so they're actually not admins; they're scientists. Ordinarily in a Pokemon game,
you're right.
the admin is the person who gets the name, right? Like it's Team Galactic Grunt, but then you have Team Galactic Admin Mars, right?
Yeah.
But with these people, the Team Flare admins are
They're
just
just
Team
called
Flare
admins.
admin. Right. But it's Team Flare Scientist Mabel.
Yeah.
That's
I like
the
that
only
design.
one I remember the name of. I think one is Celosia or something like that.
So we moving on to Legends ZA? Is that what we're doing right now?
We got some more
You
super
already
chats.
here.
We got a super chat here by
You
Lycan
already
Tempest. Thank you for all your support. $5.
You're already here.
They say Lumi might be the youngest, but he has the vibe down of an older, refined gentleman.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's one way.
I'll
Yeah,
take
okay. Yeah, well, that's good. And then Lycan Tempest has been a member, a Box Legendary tier member of the channel for 3 months. Reminder to anyone who becomes a supporter on Patreon or on YouTube, $5 gets you into the door. You get access to all of the Discord, the secret Discord perks. You can hang out with us. You can jump on a live show. You can join the Battle League. You also get access to all of our exclusive interviews, our exclusive podcast, VODs, gameplay VODs, discussion VODs, everything when you become a supporter. Just want to throw that out there. Thank you, Lycan Tempest. We also have got another super chat here by Marav. Let's see. ZA is focused on trainer battles, and that already makes the game have more of a lifespan. Also, the last teaser with the tower thing looks like a battle tower feature. That's a good post game for it. Yeah.
Agree.
I would love that.
Just don't know if they would advertise a post game feature like that, like hype it up. As
Yeah.
like this awesome
Maybe
thing.
not post.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it is post game, but maybe not post game. Maybe it's part
Like,
of it. I don't know.
I think it'll be a part of probably both. I mean, you could probably just extend the post game through the
There you go.
tower.
Yeah, I
That
mean
makes
that's how it was with Sword and Shield. Like Rose's tower became the battle tower.
True, that's true.
We got a lot of activity in the chat right now. Octoshade says with the $5, I yield to Chikorita. Long live the Dino pair. Here's hoping ZA's Dex
Dino
is
pair.
big so I can transfer in regular starters. Love the content. Keep it up. Thank you so much. And yeah, I think that's actually what we need to
Regular
segue
starters.
to next. We got to segue to the starters. But Jake Steinberg has gifted 5 memberships to
Thanks, Jake.
people
Oh,
watching
Jake,
in the
I know you.
community. Thrive, Level 99 Pidgey, Brad B, Burnt Toast, and Ball Guy are all now legendary
Welcome
tier
back.
members. Yeah,
Okay.
thank you so much. Jake, thank you for all the support. Jake was on the podcast last night. Thank you so much, Jake, for just being an awesome member of the community. Marav with another super chat. Lysander, despite being a genocide maniac, had the goal of a world of balance for humans and Pokemon, and his company did products that could be used for good with the new owner. Yeah. Yeah, interesting. It's tough. Yeah, it's tough to say.
Hey,
when-
Lysander,
yeah,
I'm on to you, buddy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's tough. It's
who
tough
are
to
you,
justify
really?
genocide and just taking the person, and their values at face value. It's still genocide.
Can we talk about how crazy it is that AZ nuked the entire region and he's still alive? And
We
now
were
he just-
talking
They
about
scream and they start crying.
right.
statute of limitations. If he admits to his crime now, then
Have you noticed that this is something else that I don't know how I'd never really thought about this, but when you're playing through X and Y, that's what Team Flare is all about. That is what Lysander is. It's not sugar-coated. He wants to kill everyone except for Team Flare. That is genocide. But when you get to the Victory Road and Serena or Callum, depending on your version or your player character, they go to battle you and they say something to the effect of I was thinking about this Team Flare thing, and in situations like that, I think we should meet them in the middle.
No.
It's
No.
My story is just so. The way they
I know.
write it just makes
I
me mad.
So whack.
she says,
AZ
we'll never
is a
know
war
if
criminal.
One of us,
Yeah.
we'll never know if either one of us is right because the situation forced our hands, and it's like, I'm
really?
sorry.
This seems a
X
little.
and Y
this
has
is-
themes
this
that
is a
it tries
legit-
to cook with, but the way that they write it is just so awful.
Damn.
Yeah.
We gotta get you in a room with
100%.
Jake. Jake would love that take.
I do want to say something though about AZ. It's more serious, but I think he's just hiding as a hotel manager. He's just
Yeah, I
I
can see
can't
that.
do anything in society. He's just some guy behind a hotel desk. He
Honestly,
doesn't do
that's a
anything.
good point, dude. I love that because if he's actually, maybe he's not 3,000 years old, but he obviously is super old. He just keeps growing. He gets taller. That's why.
No,
he's
but
tall.
that's why they're saying he claims to be, because he's
No one
trying to
knows.
keep himself a mystery. He's
Yeah.
low key, He's
Then why-
hiding.
But he's
claiming
probably
that.
he's
If you're
probably also
trying to-
outlived everyone
why are you
else who knows
telling
about his
people?
crimes.
Yeah.
But if
Yeah.
you're trying to hide, why are you telling every person who comes into your hotel, "Hey,
Yeah.
welcome to my humble abode"?
I guess
You're
at this
3,000 years
point,
old.
No one
it's just
remembers
a
them.
story.
Hide in plain
Yeah.
sight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a story
NMT
that nobody
Arts
can verify.
gifted another 5 memberships to a bunch
go.
of people in the community. Pelican, Lactose, Sean Williams, Commander Cody, Fertile
Lactose.
Bananas. Interesting name.
Yeah. Bananas has been with us for
welcome.
a long time.
No, I know, but the name is just, it gets me every
I know. I know.
time.
Anyway.
Yeah, it's like a Tropius. All right, awesome. All right, guys, let's talk. Thanks everyone
Talk
for the
shop.
support. Let's talk shop. Let's talk starters.
If we're done with champions, I don't know.
let's talk starters.
I have more thoughts,
I
but
did
it's
it.
going to go into a whole.
I'm sure-
thing.
I'm sure you do.
complain
We-
about it.
Yeah, we could talk champions later. We're gonna be doing a little bit of a Patreon segment after this. So, join the Patreon or join the YouTube channel. Become a channel member if you want to get access to that. But yeah, let's talk starters. Who are you guys picking? We get the reveal.
Totodile.
Okay, Totodile.
All right, Toto for 1.
All right. Unpopular Chikorita.
I thought you were
good
gonna say
though.
I'm
That's
with
good
you.
though. I like
I'm
it.
with you. It's ZA.
Are you doing
it's
it-
green. You got to get the green Pokemon.
Tomato.
Are you picking
It'll
Chikorita just
depend
because
on-
it's unpopular, or
I mean, honestly, all of them are kind of unpopular. I've never liked
Yeah.
Tepig, though. I think Tepig is just kind of eh. I mean,
Yeah.
I like Totodile. I like Totodile.
I was about to say Totodile is not unpopular.
I feel like
I-
Totodile is going to be on the starter that 80% of people pick this time around. Though.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
I want to give Chikorita a chance because, I feel like I never used Chikorita because it's terrible in Johto. It's
Yeah.
awful. So
Mhm, yeah,
you
it
know.
sucks.
And that's the thing. A
Um,
lot of these Pokemon get a bad rap because they're not good competitively, and then YouTubers, like competitive people, repeat those things, and then I think a lot of
Yeah.
regular fans, like viewers, whatever, start repeating that these Pokemon are bad, but forget why they're bad, and they're only bad
This was
in
exactly
the context, of a competitive playthrough. That's
This
it.
was exactly the debate I was having with Jaleel on Rocket Radio last
Yeah.
night, where it was like, well, you're basically judging Chikorita off of the past, where he was terrible in Johto. He didn't have a regional form or Mega Evolution or whatever he's going to get in this game.
Yeah.
It's like
off rip, you're fighting a flying gym.
Yeah, we're flying bug gym in the
You're
first
fighting a grass and poison Bellsprout tower.
He was cooked. He was cooked from the start. But like in this game, he might actually be good. Who knows? Like there's a possibility.
I'll say my opinion on Chikorita is it has nothing to do with his competitive viability. I'll say that. It's
Good
nothing
though. At
to
least
do with
Say it.
You're
Say
standing
it.
by your.
I just don't like Meganium. I think Chikorita's fine. I like Bayleaf the most. Like
There we
if I was
go.
grading them, I give
What
Chikorita
if
like
they
a C
change
plus.
Meganium in this game? What if
Yo,
you get
see, but
Mega
here's the
Meganium?
thing. Here's my thing, right? I've been seeing a lot of people complaining about the starters in this game, and they're like, "Oh, these aren't my favorites." Blah blah. I prefer for in like this game with these expectations that they pick starters I don't like, because there's potential that they redeem them and make them
absolutely.
better.
How would they redeem them?
new
Just because of gameplay, or
New
do you think
design. New design.
Okay,
New design.
Mega or regional form? That's the question.
Whichever one we get.
We've
Like,
already seen that Chikorita learns like fairy type moves now. From
Yeah,
the
that's fun.
trailer, so it's like
Right.
revisions to their moveset alone could make them a lot better.
Yeah.
But
that is
again,
interesting.
if it's just improving the Pokemon, like statistically or with move pools and stuff, that won't redeem them for me. I just want like a design. Like
Yeah.
preferably it's a
100%.
regional form, but I don't know how that works if this is like modern day Pokemon. Like I would assume that
I
it's
think it's
probably
just
going
gonna
to
be
be through a
Megas.
Mega. Yeah, that's what I think too. Which
I don't
wouldn't
see
be
there
as
being
good.
regional
but-
forms if it's just in the city. It would be weird.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
No,
saying.
I
I'm
think you
like,
could do it.
probably
You could
wouldn't
do
get
it.
that.
I
You could,
think only
but
Mega.
I don't know how they. I don't
What would
know.
you
how
even?
they
You
do
can't
it.
even call it Colossian form. You'd be like Lumiosidian
Yeah.
form. Like,
Yes.
Right.
Yes, absolutely.
or like Mr. Mime.
Listen,
Urban
when
form
we
or
when we
something
talk
like
about
that.
Paris, we're
Urban form.
When we're
Urban's
talking
not bad.
when we talk about Paris, we say Parisian, right?
Yeah.
This would be Lumiosian.
It would just be Lumiose. It would just be Lumiose.
I just feel
like-
like if Mega Evolutions are going to be
Emotion.
like the primary gimmick of the game,
Yeah.
they're going to focus more on adding more of those than regional
100%.
That is feeling
I think
realer
Yeah.
than ever.
That's what I think too. Yeah. But I mean, they could do it somehow. Like I don't know, maybe we get our starter. Maybe we get our starter from AZ, and he's like, I brought this from the past 3,000 years ago.
Yeah.
And then you get your Chikorita and evolves into this like actual dinosaur. Like,
Yeah, dude,
no,
Chikorita
they
getting
are-
the dragon type would be insane.
Yeah. That would be awesome. If they are though Megas, it is kind of sad at the same time because all of
I agree.
the things that would make them better kind of go away after this.
Yes.
You know,
But,
like,
Yeah.
but now we have
But
Pokemon,
Pokemon champions,
so they'll
yeah.
be good.
Mhm. Yes.
true. It's true.
He could.
But if I want to play with it in Gen 10, what happens?
Yeah.
It's gone forever.
That's the
GG's.
downside. That is
Can
the
you get it in
downside.
What if I
Pokemon
get a-
Sleep? That's the real
if-
question.
What if we get like Legends Johto like 5 years from now, and I want to use my
Sure.
Mega Feraligatr, you know?
Yeah.
And Megas
could.
isn't in Legends Johto, so it's like
Yeah.
You're cooked. GG.
Yes, Soul's
That
been
is-
scoring in the past because his favorite Pokemon is Ultra Necrozma.
Oh, he got one game, bro.
Yeah. He said, "I love this." Oh wait, where did
Not
it
anymore.
go?
But now
Not
he gets
anymore.
champions. He has 2 games.
Yes,
He has
not
2
anymore.
games.
Yeah.
Wait.
Man, yeah. So AJ's picking Totodile? No, Tepig. Would you say?
Yes. Totodile. Absolutely
Totodile?
not. How dare you
Okay.
besmirch me?
Anybody
dare
picking
you?
Tepig? Is anybody picking Tepig?
John's picking Chikorita.
Chikorita.
I'm
For now.
Listen.
I mean, who knows? We could see the final forms, and I may be like, whoa,
Yeah.
whoa, hang
Yeah,
on,
yeah.
Embor cooks
Right.
now.
You're gonna see the final.
100%.
See, that's very on me. I'm not seeing the final forms until I play the game.
Sure.
I gotta
I mean,
rip it.
normally I would,
I'm
but they've
committing
revealed
now.
them early before. We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I just
No.
ignore them. But I can do that. I'm not. I do talk about Nintendo generally, so I don't have
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
make a
that,
video
that
about it.
Twitter
So I
for
get
you
it.
tab is gonna spoil
Yeah, I get
me
it.
as soon as it
Nah,
comes out.
Yeah.
I
That's
avoid the
exactly
for you
right.
tab. I ignore the for you tab like the plague for
Yeah.
several reasons.
you have to get
you're
you
gonna
have to get
have to
the
not-
email subscription notifications.
You can
Yeah,
stay
it's-
friends with us in that time period, but you might not want to watch anything that we put out.
I'm neutral. I'm neutral around that time, man.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
telling you.
But no one
I-
watching right now. No one unsubscribe, please. No one unsubscribe.
Don't unsubscribe. And there's ways to still engage and just avoid it. Avoid the spoilers. But
Absolutely.
me, I try to go in as blind as I possibly can. Because I want that
actually-
moment where I'm like, yo, it evolves into that. What the heck?
That is
I
pretty
really
What
cool.
happens
enjoyed that
when
Legends-
Meganium's worse than before, though?
Oh boy, don't tell me.
Then rip. But that's also a good clip. If it's bad, that's also good.
It's all
I genuinely
content.
enjoyed that Legends Arceus did not reveal the final starters before.
Yeah, that is
came out.
crazy.
Yeah, that was tough.
And you know what's crazy?
Did
Like,
they hint it? Did they hint it? Like, didn't they like
They did
show
the
them
silhouette.
evolve into a silhouette?
yeah,
the
maybe.
silhouettes.
Yeah.
But at that
I
point,
might
they
have
had
just
leaked.
ignored that actually.
Well, I mean, you literally would not have been able to figure out anything. They were just the silhouettes of them. If you hadn't
I
seen
mean,
them
you
before.
say that, but Hisui and Decidueye's got a very different silhouette.
It does. Only
Yeah, but
that
you
one
can't
though.
tell like what it was. You can't be like, oh,
You wouldn't be able to know he's like
cool.
a fighting type though. You'd be like, oh, just
Yeah.
has got a funny hat now.
I'll say if I see the silhouette,
wears
I'm not that mad at seeing the silhouette because then at least I know it's different. You know.
Yeah.
yeah.
It doesn't tell me what it is.
I want to see a silhouette of Mega Meganium, but it's got the edgy leaf on its head from Bayleaf. That's what I want to see. And more foliage. And maybe some Tropius
Honestly,
bananas on
getting
its
rid
neck.
of the leaf is the worst part of it.
No.
Yeah.
Oh no, that it got rid of the leaf?
Kinda.
Yeah.
Then it loses the leaf.
The leaf is
Bayleaf
cool.
leaf is so iconic.
Yeah.
Did they reveal for Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire? Did they reveal Mega Sceptile and Mega Swampert beforehand?
They revealed
Yeah.
everything beforehand. That
Yeah.
was
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
For some of these reveals, I would like
that
remember
makes me
where I
wonder,
was.
like, if it is Megas, do they reveal it beforehand? Or what you could do is, because I think you have a lot of people going, okay, it's the same thing as Legends Arceus, so they're going to get regional variants for their evolutions. So what you do is in a later trailer, just show regular for Alligator, and then like people go, oh, it's not getting regional variant. And then the hype dies down, but then you show they get Megas later, and it's like, oh, wait, but they get that, you know?
Yeah. I'm
Still
starting to
very crazy that we're picking. Well, you're about to change your mind, maybe, Dusty. But
Listen, I'm
me and
open.
Lumi are picking Totodile as well.
Oh,
So-
yeah.
I am
and
open.
Dusty was saying yesterday that he's picking Chikorita, but now
Bro, it's been 24 hours. Like anything can happen, you know? Anything
I'm
can
not
happen.
changing my mind, bro. I'm not changing my mind.
Me neither.
It is
Not
really
until
funny
we
from
see
all the
the-
polls that I've seen that Chikorita is no longer the least popular starter.
Yeah, that is
he's-
true.
It's consistently beating Tepig.
Tepig's pretty
It's
cute
insane.
though.
I didn't think that Tepig was so hated, basically. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Tepig itself is adorable. Emboar is the problem. But,
Man,
You
did
know,
you
like,
not hear
consistently ranked the
AJ's
second
reaction
bottom.
to Dusty saying that he was picking Tepig?
Yeah, no, he got
was
like,
mad. He was about to come pick the bottom.
I was. I was about to
it's because
squabble
it's a
up
pig.
this
Is it
time.
because it's just a pig and pigs are just
No.
like, not desirable?
Nah, man.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's the
literally-
evolutions for me. I love Tepig.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
what
like
it is.
Pignite and Emboar.
That's literally
100%.
what my boss said yesterday at work. He's playing the new Pokemon games with his son now. He had not played a game since Gold and Silver on his own.
Bro, I love this story, by the way. I just followed the
yeah.
podcast.
So he played Brilliant Dime with his son. He's just now starting Violet with his son, and he watched the ZA reveal yesterday with me at work, and he was
That's
like,
awesome.
he was like, oh, Chikorita and Totodile, I love those guys. That guy's just a pig. What is wrong?
Even the Pokemon Center, you know, they're like, oh, Chikorita's so cool. It has this sweet scent. And they're like, oh, you know, Totodile, he's got a strong bite. And then Tepig, they're like, a ravenous glutton.
Yeah, they literally say that. Imagine like in the trailer,
That's
you know,
a verbatim quote. They say, they literally are like, Chikorita's
Yeah.
cute. Totodile's cool. Tepig is fat.
it's
and
right on the
ugly. It's
website.
like,
I
what
know.
the heck?
So disrespectful. Imagine like so in the trailer they show like they show the Trubbish and Garbodor all like next to that alley with all the garbage bags. Imagine like that's how we saw Tepig. Like Tepig's like right there with the trash Pokemon. Right. Oh my god, I can see it. I can see it.
He's got more class. He's a little more classy.
Yeah, like he's at the cafe. Listen,
Same region.
Is this a hint?
Yeah.
We got Tepig in front of the cafe. Is it going to evolve? This is what I want.
Fire Fairy.
I want the chef. I want the chef pig, dude.
Chef Emboar?
Chef Emboar.
Yo, he's Fire Steel type. He has pans for hands.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. they're like Yu-Gi-Oh! Dual discs.
Bro.
Low key, I would
for
change
hands.
to Emboar.
Yeah, it's so good,
Bro.
dude. Oh,
I
that's
can't
so
with the
awesome.
Pants for hands.
Can't you see him doing? Yeah, no, I don't know.
Chef Emboar would go crazy, actually.
Yeah, so good. I don't know. There's a lot of potential for that.
I do think these are the the three Pokemon that, like, if you told me who are the three most neglected Pokemon by the Pokemon Company, I would have told you Tepig, Chikorita, and Totodile. And I wonder if that's why they picked these despite two Johtos.
I don't know about.
I mean, I
Totodile
also
is
wanna know-
popular. It just doesn't have a.
No,
form.
I said neglected by the Pokemon Company.
I think.
Yeah.
Because like he hasn't been in anything since like 2000.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
What do you guys think about it being 2 Johto stars? Like nobody guessed it. Nobody. Like it's crazy.
Anecdotally, I did.
I think
Anecdotally,
it's just them saying
because leading it, I react to this on stream with my friend Colton, and we were talking about who we would want the starters to be, and with the mindset that we want starters that we don't want, in hopes that they redeem them in evolutions. I was like, they should do Chikorita, and they should do I think we nailed down Fire and I didn't guess Gen 2 because we didn't know what the water one would be. We said Chikorita and Tepig.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I don't know.
They could have thrown in Popplio or Sobble, and they
I don't know who the water would be.
The hated trio.
Yes, Sobble should have been in here.
But Primarina's good.
Yeah.
I like Primarina.
Sobble's
Yeah.
actually popular though. I think Popplio would have been insane. Like people would riot probably.
Yeah, literally.
Well, and also, like I said, like
That-
if you're looking at
people
most
have the worst
neglected,
priorities.
if you're looking at most neglected, Popplio, Primarina does have a Z move, and then like an exclusive Z move.
Yeah, I see what-
and
yeah, I
then,
see what you're saying.
Inteleon has a G Max, whereas like the Johto starters have nothing except for Cyndaquil now does. The Unova stars have nothing except Samurott now does, and then the Sinnoh starters do have nothing, but they're so popular, and you know Pokemon Piplup is like.
Also, they just got a game. We're done with
Eevee,
Sinnoh.
like up there,
Yeah. They
Yeah,
could
that
have.
too.
The other Kalos starters are pretty underutilized, but we're obviously going to get those here.
Except for Greninja,
That's true. That's true.
Yeah,
That's true. It
Greninja.
does actually have a whole new
The other
form.
two have nothing.
Yeah. All
That
right,
brother
let's
is
read some
true
super
super
chats.
chat
People
for
are
this
getting
one.
excited about the starters. All right, Giant says, with the $5, thank you. They say ZA really is going to force me into picking Chikorita. Yes, I've never used it in my life. I'm excited to see a potential new form of Meganium. I think there's hope.
And then when they make it a grass bug, now what?
Yeah,
Now
right.
Oh no, that means I'll have to pick it, bro. I will have to choose it.
I think if anything, this
I am
is
the
just
bug type.
confirmation that there's no Johto anything in the works right now.
Yes, yeah, true.
Or
Well,
is
what
it?
there
What
is,
about- there
let's go,
is.
Johto.
And they're
there
throwing
is.
us off the trail. Who knows?
Because let's go. Legends Johto, this makes it more likely to me personally because they won't be the starters for Legends Johto,
I
but
suppose.
they will have.
But like
things.
as far as
Yeah,
the remake
they
goes,
have
they're
other
not
stuff,
like
but-
looking to remake Johto again.
Oh no, yeah, I don't think so.
Like, there's not a Let's Go Johto in the pipeline.
No.
I don't know.
People were
That might be a
could-
conversation for another time.
so-
That's
could-
a big one.
Bro.
I could see Pokemon Works potentially working on because they already made an engine for BDSP, and that is a remake of a game that is Gen 4, and the other Gen 4 game is the Johto remakes. I could see a Heart Gold Soul Silver like remake or whatever. It would have a different name and everything, but like essentially in a better engine, similar to BDSP. I could see that.
Or they make Johto remakes that tie in with this, and you can only Omega Evolve Meganium and Feraligatr, but not Typhlosion.
Yeah. Do you guys remember the anime in the Johto anime? Like this is when I think of Chikorita, this is the Chikorita I think of. It's like this rival of Ash's. It's this girl, and she was like obsessed with like baseball.
Can
or
we
whatever.
call her a rival?
I mean, I feel like earlier on she recurs, like she comes back multiple times.
Yeah.
She has one of
Yeah.
Ash's Pokemon.
Oh,
so she's a
okay.
rival.
Well, great. Never
She's a
mind. That
rival.
makes her a rival.
I mean, I don't know. Listen, she in her mind,
she's
Ash
a
is
rival in the way that there was like a lot of Sinnoh rivals. Like
Yeah.
he had a lot
Yeah.
of people that
And the Sinnoh ones I would call rival, but this feels like calling the camera guy from Unova a rival.
Sure, yeah, the camera and the news, what is it, Gabby and Ty? They're rivals.
they actively
funny.
You
competed
fight them
against
3
each
times.
other.
They do, and they
They're
get better.
rivals, bro.
That's funny, dude. Anyways,
That
I always
is
think
true.
of this. Her team.
They get their final forms in Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. You know who didn't get their final forms in the original home games? Brendan and May. So
That's true. That's true.
you literally fight them more times than Wally.
That's so true. Wow. Oh my God. That's actually true. Nation's Regret with the $5 says, catching up on yesterday's discussions. Thanks a bunch for the content. 10 out of 10 recommend all become members. Thank you, Nation's Regret, for doing my job for me. Thank you so much, man, for the $5. And we got Marav here again. Thank you so much. Says, remember AZ is over 3,000 years old, and the trailer mentions the hotel has many years already, many years after X and Y. Maybe Jet is some Clement Bonnie descendant, both with interest in technology. Yeah, possibly, definitely.
Yeah.
What is it?
Ramos is so dead.
Yeah, I know. What? It's really funny because Dusty's whole thing. Yeah, Dusty's whole thing, like this build-up, this whole year that we've been waiting. Like, Ramos is gonna be in this game. He's gonna be in it. And I don't know.
He's the grass guy.
It was one of two outcomes. Either it was set in the past and we had young Ramos, or it was gonna be set in the future and he's the only guy missing.
Dude, Ramos.
We have gravestone Ramos. That's it.
He holds the keys to Kalos, dude. Look at this guy. Look at this. Look at this guy.
Yeah, he's not making it, bro.
That's the ultimate key.
In my mind, this is like without the Boston like Irish cap. Like this is what I want to like be when I'm 80 or whatever.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean,
that he calls everyone like whippersnapper or something like that. Like he's got that super like sick, old man voice. It's so funny.
It's a really weird beard choice, but yeah,
a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. But no.
Have you seen Vinny's sideburns, man?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
I could pull those off though.
Yeah,
do it, man. Do it, man. You're upset about the haircut? Just go ahead and shave that dude.
just some Wolverine chops.
Yeah, dude, it would honestly be kind of sick. Vaughn with the $5 says, I picked Oshawott and Arceus, hoping its final form would redeem it. Samurott is a disaster.
Yeesh. Yeah, I agree, man. I agree.
When it evolved, I reset the game and picked Cyndaquil.
I agree. We had this conversation on the holiday stream, bro.
I just have to clap to that. That's hilarious.
I suppressed the memory, man. I suppressed the memory.
That
Holy
is
Samurott
insane.
Is such. What did they do to my boy moment, bro? Like, why would you do that to him, man?
About Samurott?
Yes, bro. Why would they do Samurott to Duat? How dare they?
It's sick,
okay.
Dude.
Okay. I'm seeing, if you didn't like the original Samurott, but see, Hisui and Samurott
you should know what it's going to look like.
Upgrade
yeah.
Unova and Samurott.
That much, they did improve the original Samurott.
Yeah.
Right? But they did not make it good.
It still doesn't look like it would come from Duat.
Yeah, it was better than it was, but not good.
AJ, do you know why though? Do you know why?
I do know why. You tried to sell me on this on the holiday stream.
Okay, yes. Cool. I love that. That's my favorite story.
Low key, that made me hate it more.
I love it so much. Hisui and Samurott's literally my favorite Pokemon of all time.
It's his favorite Pokemon. Bashing the man's favorite out here.
I feel like, you know how they had that whole goal with Torchic where it's like they wanted to like regret that children would get from like getting the chick and then it grows up into the chick and they're like, ew, this isn't the cute chick that I got. Like if that was the goal with Oshawott, they achieved it. They failed miserably with Blaziken, but Oshawott, that A+ on that report card.
Oshawott and see, that's the thing is like, even though the Duat to Samurott disconnect, I am with you. Like it doesn't look like it should evolve into it. Yeah. But I still love Oshawott. I love Duat.
Yeah.
And I love.
Also, it's really just like it's a Remoraid to Octillery thing. You just got to be okay with the transformation.
I kind of love when Pokemon does that, to be honest.
Sure.
So I actually like that example. I like Remoraid to Octillery. It's not even about like the because I think a lot of Pokemon fans, a lot of Pokemon fans, they have the whole like it's pretty one dimensional with their complaints. Their complaints are it's like keep it on 2 feet, keep it. On, I don't care about that.
It's got
I do not care about that.
I want 3 before.
Yeah, I don't care about that. Me personally, I just want you to stick to landing. You set up an expectation for how cool this Pokemon's going to look,
and then
you go in a different and then you're like, okay, he's like this ninja looking dude, and I understand Oshawott, Samurott, like I get it. But at the end of the day, he was giving Ninja until the ninth inning, and then they're like,
yeah. Now he's like a
Well, I do
sumo
think,
wrestler.
like, it's,
He regained
it's,
his
it's
honor.
literally two different animals. It is an otter
Yeah.
versus a sea lion.
Yeah.
And so I do think, like, I'm with you on, like, it is different from Rimmer, and this is again come from Hisui and Samurot's biggest fan. But there is definitely a difference with Rimmerade and Octillery, because, like, if I catch a Rimmerade not knowing and I evolve into Octillery, that's fine. I can box it. But if that happens with Oshawott, that was
your
my
starter Pokemon.
Yeah,
that was your
my
first
game
friend.
if I want to
brother.
repick, you know?
Sure.
So I can respect that.
Jesper, thank you so much, says, I'm picking Tepig. It's my favorite fire starter. Totodile is his second favorite water. Both are top 5 starters for me. Don't appreciate the Chris P. Bacon hate. I saw Blue-Eyed Venonat say, where is it? Frying hands goes hard. Like frying pans. Frying hands.
Yeah, true.
Can you also
I'm doing,
use
like,
them
the
as
frying
drying
hand.
pans? Can you
Yeah,
also
I
use
think
them
so.
as drying hands?
Oh, drying pans.
That's
Like
the question.
the Brock reference? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I love that. That clip was that's classic. The classic internet meme. Marav with okay, thank you. Marav says, I honestly think it's more possible we'll get regional forms for the starters than megas, because you should give megas to the other two Gen 2 and 5 starters, and Legends games give starters regionals. Marav, I think I've been seeing this a lot online.
There's one Legends game.
Yeah,
though.
you could
Still one.
you could definitely
One
make the
game.
connection, and it's fun to think about. But I absolutely would recommend to everyone listening, like, there's no pattern. There's no pattern. It's like
If there was a pattern, I mean, we would have gotten 2 Johto starters here.
Yes,
Yo, you know what else Legends games do? They have agile style and strong style,
Right.
and they're turn based.
Yep.
And you know, it's like,
No,
They're
absolutely,
not set in
it
one
is
city.
different. And I think
Also,
also
it's
something
back
I've
in
been-
the past.
Who is to say that Cyndaquil won't just be a wild Pokemon and still
Get 'em
be
out.
able to make
At this point, it could be. You know?
Yeah, at this point, yeah. Like
It's not be in the wild too, you know?
At this point, it could just be like an alternate dimension where Lumio City is in Johto. I'm expecting that actually.
Yo,
Pokemon
And not
fans.
only that,
hey, yo, that's wild.
I beg
That's
you,
crazy.
free yourself from precedent.
Awesome.
You'll be happier. You'll
Oh,
be
yeah.
happier.
Yeah.
and not only that too, but I think that's us thinking of it from a fan perspective, where we're going, okay, regional forms and megas are different.
Yeah.
But I think from Game Freak's point of view, they're going, it is a new design. If it's
Yeah.
a new Pokemon, it's a new design. If it's a regional form, it's a new design. If it's a
Yep.
Mega Evolution, it's a new design. It's why
Right.
X and Y's Dex is like 73, I think, Pokemon. It might be less than that.
I think
Either
it's
way,
less
like,
than that, but there's so many
yeah,
megas.
but there's
and,
so many megas.
like,
yeah.
game. Yeah, absolutely. I think also, like, from our perspective, not thinking about Game Freak, but just think from our perspective, like the way we interact with these games isn't on the Bulbapedia list of all the Pokemon together, right? Like, in the context of this game, it doesn't matter what one Pokemon has in a different region. That doesn't matter at all. That literally does not matter. If you're playing as the protagonist in Kalos, in Legends ZA, all you know is that these 2 Pokemon happen to be in front of you, and they happen to get Mega Evolutions if that's the way it's going to go, right? Like,
Right.
it doesn't matter what had happened in another game at all. At all. Like, that's
The
why
small kid in Pallet Town is not like, but they're grass type.
Yeah, but I saw
kids
on
that have
Reddit
flying.
that,
Yeah,
that
you know?
this had something
Like-
else. I mean, and I get it. The set, like, it is nice when things like match up, but there's no, like, I don't know, like, fairness doesn't matter in this situation. It just doesn't.
If it was fair, then the other 2 Kanto starters would also have 2 megas.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and a Gigantamax form, and
Yeah. Absolutely.
and they would have got shiny upgrades. It would have been like, you know what, that shiny's not cool enough.
Back
Let's
in the
do it
day,
the
they
other
were
way.
better about keeping these patterns consistent, but in recent generations, they've
Yeah.
shown that they really don't care if they favor 1 or 2
Totally.
starters over another.
Yeah.
No, not at all. Yeah, doesn't matter too much.
Hey,
And that's not a take. That's not my opinion. It's just the way it is.
It's just how it is. Yeah.
totally.
Just how
Nobody's
it is.
saying that that's the way it should be, but it is the way it is.
Exactly.
Want to shout out? We've never met this person, but want to shout out Game Boy Luke in the chat right now. Hope you're doing well.
We meet you now. What's up?
Yeah,
Welcome
we
to
meet
chat.
you now.
We got some more super chats here, and I feel like I'm just getting behind. We got Brennan O'Brien with the $2. Did they say anything? There's no message
No.
attached to it, but thank you, Brennan.
Thank you though.
And then we got Mr. Literal with the $5. Love that name. Ho-Oh and Lugia still don't have alternative forms, so a Legends Johto is still on the table for the future.
Let's go.
Yeah, I love
That's
that.
what I
That's
want.
great. That'd be very, very nice wishful
Is that what
thinking
that
there.
means?
I mean, eventually, it
That's
means...
what that means. That's literally what we
Yeah,
just talked
yeah.
about, patterns and all that. So
Yeah.
it does not mean that.
We're just saying
There's no
they're
Mew
open.
3, so we're going to get more Kanto until we get a Mew 3.
Yeah.
Which is true. I do. I believe that wholeheartedly. We will get another Kanto game.
Johto.
I mean, Mewtwo could be in this game because it's in X and Y.
Oh, I think it's
could
gonna
have
be.
You know
some
what?
game stuff
I think
there.
it will
This
be
is
in
where
this
we
game.
get Mew 3. I cook too hard. We get Mew 3
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
I really do think
Real
we will
question
get.
is,
Mega
how
Mewtwo
will they
Z.
integrate Mega Rayquaza?
I think they're just gonna give it to. You know what I think?
I'm gonna be honest, I don't think it'll be in the game.
No, it's gonna be in the game. All
I
Megas
don't
will
think
be in
we'll
this
have
game.
free. No,
I
no.
feel
Yes.
like it's gonna
Yes.
belong to like a final boss type character.
Look, all I'm saying
I've-
is I've seen this idea that every Mega Evolution will be in the game, and I'd be for it. But the fact is that Legends Arceus had a 220 deck size. I'm kind of expecting around that because this, for once, we actually do have high quality animations and stuff like that in these games. And if you take all the Pokemon that are confirmed to return in Pokemon X or Pokemon X and Y, wow, Pokemon Legends ZA, it's 2013, guys. But if you look at all the Pokemon that are confirmed to return from the trailers, and you add all the Pokemon that are Gen 6 Pokemon, so all the brand new Gen 6 Pokemon, and then you add all the Megas, it's like right at 200. And so it's like the idea, like it's a stacked dex, and that's leaving out so many Pokemon that are, in the Kalos Pokedex. You know what I mean? That will probably be included. Like
I don't know.
the Pokemon that aren't gonna get anything, but are gonna be in the game.
Watchog is gonna Mega Evolve?
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Bro.
He's there.
That
He's
is
in
a
the game.
Give Pancham
That is a take.
a Mega Evolution.
That I'm there for.
Pancham one.
I will take a
I need
Pangoro
it.
Mega Evolution.
That's a good point.
Needed.
Yeah, that's true. If like we are expecting like 40 new Megas, are the other 50 Megas going to be in the game? But I don't know. They're just like additions to lines that already exist. So I don't know. We'll see. I just feel like to make this game, like the part about Legends that I enjoyed so much was, of course, the post game where you get to do this like rally of exploring all these biomes for the legendary Pokemon, and you get and they were able to recontextualize a lot of the mythicals even, right, which is really cool. Like I actually felt like I was on that journey. Like you had to actually to fight Heatran, you had to duck and roll and destroy it like any other boss battle in that game, which is really cool. So when I'm thinking about Legends EA in the post game of that, like yes, we're gonna be able to get the regular Megas, but yeah, fighting Mega, I mean, maybe not the Primals. I don't know. Yeah, I guess maybe not the box Legends of Hoenn, but I don't know. That would be sick to fight Mega Rayquaza. And I'm also thinking about, what I was thinking about was that Shiny Rayquaza event that they gave out last year. Like that felt so significant and also kind of random. I knew it wasn't random because it had to do with like the anime.
Because the anime.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
but also, I mean, how clean would it be if they're like, hey, you can if you bring this into the game, like that unlocks some sort of event or something. I don't know. I think it'd be cool. There's a lot of cool
I feel like
legendary
the
Megas.
issue with that is that, I mean, they could always just re-roll the raid like they've been doing with like Walking Wake and Iron Leaves.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
feel like if that's the only time they're going to do that Rayquaza raid, and it very well might be because they ran it for like a month.
Yeah.
Like they ran it longer than just
Couple
like
weeks.
the weekend that they
Yeah.
normally do. But if they did that, I feel like they would have announced that when they did that, because you'll have people who go, okay, well, I've been playing Pokemon for 20 plus years, and I have, like 9 shiny Rayquazas because I hunt them every game that Rayquaza's in. And then, so they skip that raid, and now they find out, oh, great, so I needed that raid to unlock this event in
I
Legends
think that's
ZA,
fine.
but I didn't even get to, but I didn't know to catch that.
But
I don't
it's just
think they do
I
shiny.
mean, how many times have they done that though? Like,
Yeah.
you get this ticket to go to this.
They do that
island
all the
to catch
time.
This Pokemon.
Yeah, but
like-
they let you know. They let you know that, hey, if you get this ticket, you get to go to this island to get this Pokemon.
I don't
And
know. It's
this
a
is
Right, and
shiny
this is
Rayquaza.
like-
Who would not want
It's
to
a
get
shiny
that?
Rayquaza. Someone who
So
has
when they
9 shiny
initially-
Rayquazas.
Who
So when
no.
they initially did it, how do we know that this wasn't? Because obviously the anime is ongoing and they know that.
Right.
we're assuming that based on the leaks that this game was supposed to come out last holiday. That's around the time that the Shiny Rayquaza happened. So that's them doing it then and being like, okay. Also,
into the anime to begin with.
This game, yeah. And this game that just came out, you can get even more if you get this Shiny Rayquaza, but the game didn't come out. So now they have to re-roll the raid, and that's something that they can do. I think they
should. Yeah, if they re-rolled the raid, I'd be 100% behind it. But like I'm saying, they gotta re-roll the raid. There's no way they drop a raid, say nothing about it, never re-roll it again, but it happens to do something special.
Right.
Yeah. Marav says with the donation, they say, and since they retconned Ash Greninja from existence, the Kalos starters are the ones that deserve a mega evolution. I mean, it's their generation's gimmick. I'm with you on that. I like that. And I think we're going to see that. That feels right for me. Let's see. Am I caught up now? Yeah, I think I'm caught up on
We're
the super
caught up.
chats.
We can finally ask these boys what they think about this.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about this trailer?
Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys remember. I was not very excited about this video game.
Yeah, I think I do remember
mostly
that.
because I just was deflated when I finished Arceus. It was super exciting when they announced it, but as I'm playing through the game, I'm like the awe of the new things that they tried was wearing off because they're cool, but ultimately it's like it felt more like a beta test to me.
Yeah, okay, I can see that.
And the redeeming quality for Arceus to me was the idea that it was this one-off alpha test for the future of Pokemon. So when they announce a new one, I'm like, oh, so this is a full-on series, and they just released a game that had, in terms of the first one, that has this super short shelf life. I saw earlier in the chat somebody's like, well, I played it X amount of times. Again, I go back to the fact that we're a special case. Everybody in here, obviously us in the call, everybody in the chat right now, you're a special case. Most people are not going to replay Legends Arceus.
Yeah.
Out of the 18 million people that played Legends Arceus, maybe 1 million replays Legends Arceus again. Maybe. Maybe.
That tracks, because my friends in real life who play Legends Arceus, I guarantee they haven't played it in 3 years. They loved it when it first came out. But I guess, isn't that most people, though?
For the first time.
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
Right?
Yeah.
I replayed it, and it holds up for me.
Yeah, but again, special case.
Yeah.
The average person is not replaying their Pokemon games.
Yes.
I don't think
the average person,
but I think
the average person rather keep their save and have the Charizard that they had when they were 10. And that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that's what I think a lot of Pokemon has been moving towards with Pokemon Home, with before that Pokemon Bank. They want Pokemon to be a living document. They don't want the justification for a game to be like, well, you can replay it.
Yeah.
You may not have have a whole lot of meat on the bone, but you can always regenerate the chicken. It's give us more to naturally be able to engage with this thing. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, I'm assuming that it's going to be the same. There's probably not going to be much meat on the bone. Now that we see it, though, I'm like, okay, cool. I see potential for this to be bigger than I thought. I'm glad that they made more changes than I expected them to make. I'm glad that it's not like a time period piece. I'm glad it's not like it's back in the past, because I feel like they used the period of Legends Arceus as justification to make the gameplay worse, where it's like, oh, there's no trainer battles because you're the only one that's brave enough to be a trainer. Yeah. I think a lot of the kayfabe in the game is justified by the fact that you're in the past.
Yeah.
Now that we're modern day, there are trainer battles. We might get this battle tower, all that kind of stuff. And I'm still holding out for whether or not this will be one of my favorite Pokemon games. It depends on if there is some sort of multiplayer. I think that would be a huge deciding factor. But even them just having some sort of meaningful post game, I think would redeem this game in my eyes and make it a full 180 from how I felt about the Legends sub-series even 2 weeks ago.
Interesting. Yeah. What do you think, JPR?
I enjoyed the trailer. I mean, I was definitely hoping to see some sort of a new form or new mega or something. I thought it was a little strange that we didn't get anything at all, but it didn't ruin it for me. I mean, after 1 year, I'm just thankful to see gameplay. And personally, for me speaking, I am a massive fan of the Xenoblade series of games, and so to see that the combat is very Xenoblade-esque, that had me the most intrigued. Like, I love the idea of, like, the moves recharging over time and, like, positioning your Pokemon properly. That was probably the most exciting part of the trailer for me. I have always enjoyed the Legends gameplay, unlike AJ. I'm sorry, AJ, but I always liked.
Sure, I'm not saying that
Legends
anybody
Arceus,
needs to agree.
Yeah, and
that's just how it feels.
This feels like a natural progression of that, except focusing more on trainer battles, which I think we all could agree that Legends Arceus needed more of. So, yeah, I thought it was a decent trailer. The game looks good. It has like a clear art direction. It looks a lot prettier than Scarlet and Violet, so that's a plus. Mm-hmm. I'm not like blown away by anything yet, but I like that the direction the game is going in.
Mm. That's solid. Yeah,
makes sense. People were kind of surprised that it wasn't like Legends Arceus kind of style, but it makes sense that it's not because we're not in like old Hisui, you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I actually like, I mean, that is the biggest question. I mean, I've been calling every question the biggest question, but there's a lot of big questions. I think the fact that this is not actually in the past is cool because this game is still called Legends ZA, right? That's still the subtitle. And I wonder what that means. I guess it's still
debating that last time I was on the pod. Like, what makes a Legends game a Legends game? Is it the time period? Is it the plot? Is it the gameplay style? And I think now we can for certain say it is the gameplay style, the experimentation that they take.
Yeah.
Or more
and
so
it being
like
action based.
Yeah, more so it being like a experiment because it's not the same gameplay style though. It's still different than Legends Arceus. And I mean, they took out a lot from Legends Arceus. Like, this is not very similar to Legends Arceus in a lot of ways.
It's still, I never thought about this, but it really does still feel like a progression. Like, it's different, but I think a lot of the things in this game, at least that we've seen, feel like a progression of Legends Arceus in the same way that, like, Gen 9 is a progression from Gen 8. Gen 8 is a progression from Gen 7, right? Like, they kind of, like, this is just a separate type of game, and even even this deviation is still going to progress over time, which is nice to see. I'll read this. Luke, Game Boy Luke's in the chat. They say, I think it's totally valid to criticize Legends Arceus' battle system because low-key it wasn't very good, but we celebrate the fact that they tried something different and it's clearly been adapted for ZA. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
they've clearly made progress on their original idea.
Yeah,
which is nice.
Yeah, because it was still even though it was like action oriented, it was still turn based. This does not feel turn based. I think there might still be some of the turn based elements because you still have to like pause to select your move, but there is still that like constant flow of a game.
It doesn't even look like you need to do
fast
that.
It all seems like you switch your Pokemon instantaneously with the D-pad. I'm guessing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I think
it's really cool.
I think it made sense.
Also, I think they describe it as real time.
Yeah, they do. They say on the site real time. I think it makes sense too that like I almost wonder if it was planned like this. Like if they knew when they were building Legends Arceus that they eventually wanted to do this, but they knew not to do it with Legends Arceus to kind of
it's like a slow
bridge the gap, right?
Yeah,
like I mean it's literally that because they know that like the term Gym Oneer is thrown around like so much. There are Pokemon fans that are like, no, this is the way it is. This is the way it always is. And so they go, okay, well, first we'll give them a game where the battle works very similar to what they're used to, where it's turn-based. There's a few elements that are different, but it's turn-based. But then they're doing this thing when they're not battling, where they're having to dodge Ursarings that are trying to kill them, you know? And then you move that into this, and you're like, okay, now we're taking it a little bit further. You know, they're easing us into it. I think that was all intentional. Like, they probably knew they wanted to get here.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think they do that with everything. It's like they did that with open world. It was like that was a seed they planted in Gen 6.
Yes.
So, and I think it's less for like Gen 1ers in the sense that like people that only play Gen 1, because I think they're more likely to embrace something that's changed as much as this.
Yeah, because they're further away from this. Yeah, maybe they've already played it down.
Right, I played it and I get it. I don't need to play Gen 2. It's the same game as the game that I played before. I think it's more likely that it's the people that play every Pokemon game that's like ingratiated into this whole thing, and they're like, Pokemon is Pokemon, and this is how it plays, and it's turn-based, and
you're doing a pretty good impression of us, AJ.
It's random encounters in tall grass. You get the 8 badges. You have your HMs, you have your TMs. Slowly, Pokemon Company and Game Freak has been like, all right, we're taking that out.
Yeah.
And we're taking that out. And we're changing this. Because if they did it overnight, people would freak out.
They don't want to be too jarring of a transition.
Sure, yeah. Because then it would just come off like Pokken.
If they whipped out this battle system in Legends Arceus and then they went back to the Scarlet and Violet system in the next game, people would have been like, oh my god. But now, if we do that in Gen 10, I think it's less of a thing. Like, we expect it to kind of go back.
Yeah, what do they call that? Exposure therapy?
Yeah, basically.
Brendan O'Brien with the $5 says, Arceus was a test. My guess ZA could see a DLC also with no Gen 9 fossils. Do you think we could see Mega Fossils? Lastly, hope for Feraligatr is on all fours. And I don't actually know if I want Feraligatr on all fours because I kind of love it.
I'd be cool either way.
But also, I'm
either way is good for me. Either
Feraligator's cooler than.
Cool. I don't know how many. I don't care how many legs and feet you have. Just look cool. That's all I want.
Yeah.
It's so true.
Honestly,
what do you guys think
about
the fossils?
Mind, like a blend. Like you have a few Pokemon. Like I think Typhlosion's this way. Where like they're depicted standing up, but they'll occasionally get down all fours to use a move.
I'm feeling lazy. I don't feel like standing up.
Yeah. You're right. I wouldn't mind a Feraligatr like that.
Yeah, Skeletors is the opposite, where it's like always on all fours, but sometimes it just like stands up to sing. Yeah. I guess it depends on like how. I think a Feraligatr design could be really cool if it's on all fours. If it still has like powerful
Typhlosion
looking,
kind of got that going on too.
Yeah, but Typhlosion's got the scrawny arms.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, wasn't the like beta Gen 2 sprite of Feraligatr? It was on all fours, wasn't it?
Yeah. Let me pull it up.
Yeah, and it does look really cool. I on the subject of the fossils, dude, I'm just saying, we were talking about earlier how like I feel like the Sinnoh starters are like Pokemon that a Mega would look so cool for. Tyrantrum and Aurorus, man. I'd love to see them get something.
They look like they're made for a Mega Evolution, honestly.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Kind of surprising that we didn't get a single one in this either.
I wonder if they made any Pokemon in X and Y with like, because I think we've talked about this before on this podcast. Like, there are some Pokemon in the Galar region that you can tell they made with the Gigantamax in mind, almost like an evolution. Like Orbeetle, I think, is the best example. Orbeetle's a fine Pokemon on its own, but you can tell that like
they were going somewhere. They didn't get to fully land the plane.
They see that Gmax as a part of the Orbeetle line, almost. You know, and so I wonder like if X and Y, because we pretty much know at this point there had to at some point be like a scrapped like X2, Y2 or Pokemon Z game, because there's that gap year in between Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, and Sun and Moon. So I wonder if there were any Pokemon that they did make an X and Y kind of going, hey, when we do the sequel or enhanced version of this, whatever it might be, we want to give this thing a Mega, like the starters, honestly.
Oh yeah, Gogoat looks like he's ready to go crazy.
Right.
I'm saying
that's a good one. That's a great one.
That hair gonna get real frizzy here.
Woo! Oh, dude, it's gonna be so good. It could have the rock type. I've always thought like an ice regional would be sick, but we're talking megas. Oh, dude, that'd be so sick. Gogoat needs a glow up. Listen, I'm ready to drop the Gogoat from my name.
What ability would you give Gogoat?
It's got to have like head smash. Or what is it? Rocky Head or like?
Oh, Rockhead. Okay.
Rockhead to prevent the recoil damage or something. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Gogoat has like massive HP. Yes, exactly. Yeah. It needs Flare Blitz. It needs Flash Fire, Extreme Speed. Yeah.
I mean, sometimes Megas don't. Right? Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm now like second guessing myself. Megas don't always change abilities, do they?
Not always. No. It could have Graciate.
Because
so all of its normal type moves become grass type.
See, they should have had Gita leak. They should have had her leak Gogoat's Mega. They should have been like that would have redeemed her for having that on her team.
Leak it in the background. Like, don't even give it attention.
No, just do it. Just do it mid battle.
We need like a background reveal.
Have it like Have it like in the Gen 2 Pokemon League where Blaziken is there, and it's like, what the heck is that?
Yeah.
Have her just Mega Evolve Gogoat, so I can
how,
like,
like,
what?
Furfru got revealed, like there was like one frame that accidentally left in a trailer or something in X and Y.
Oh, the accidental ones are the best.
They used to do that so much. They used to do it so much, and then they just stopped. Where it's like, yo, there's another region
They gotta
coming.
leave something in there. They gotta leave something.
I think maybe the whole
Stop,
Chikorita
man.
thing is like one of their little hints. You know what I mean? Like the disarming voice.
I can see it. I mean,
that
they
might
have
be like-
they've teased stuff like that in the past, so I can see
They
it.
tease. They like.
They definitely do tease.
But it could-
yeah.
Oh no, I was
They
more so
could
saying, not in the
definitely be,
trailer.
like,
I was saying
intentionally
like
throwing us
outright
off.
show us the Mega and Scarlet and Violet against the champion. Have her Gogoat Mega Evolve.
Sure. I think we'll see that in a trailer in the future. We will see that.
Yeah.
I think we'll see that. Yeah, dude, Gogo's having a good year. It was the Gogoat was the champion ace in Paldea. That's sick.
Yo, they did it for
Oh
you.
my gosh.
Man, they could
They
have
did it for me. I don't even listen. I don't even like Gogo that much. I mean, I like
Didn't she
it.
also use Avalugg?
Yeah. And,
Okay.
Listen
And,
to
and
myself.
Veluza, the worst champion.
I
Dude,
love
can't
team
get
is
Veluza's
so
over
great.
it.
bad.
Avalugg was
She
my
brought
first
out the
Kalos
King
team.
Gambit second.
That's
then had
great.
the
King Gambit is
Laurel
amazing.
last. Ah,
No, King
He
Gambit's
had the
amazing.
easiest.
King Gambit has
She
to
had
put
the
you
great
overlord.
team.
You
Easiest.
use him last.
What a great team. What a
She's
great
the
team.
easiest champion, and it's not even close.
It's not
Like,
even close.
She's good, dude. She's good.
People hated on Diantha, but just saying she slammed Lance in that Masters 8 tournament, so...
That's fact.
promotion
Listen.
battle. They bring her back. They give her Mega Go-Goat, and then we're like, oh, wait a minute. Hang on.
okay.
We're cooking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Her whole
they
team
could have
gets back.
redeemed her.
You know, I was gonna say this earlier, but like that what is it? What is it? The that southeastern area on the Paldean map really was a hint this whole time to Kalos. I mean, obviously we've known about Legend ZA for a
So
year.
don't
You know what I'm mad
So
about?
100%
that none
it
of
was.
us
What do you mean?
realized?
How is it not a hint? It's literally so obviously a hint. It like
With the trainers there using the Kalos dragons,
Yeah,
Why
they were.
else would
the
they do
three,
that?
The 3 Kalos dragons.
yeah,
a
that
thing.
was such a thing. And even like Kalos Pokemon get more and more popular the more northeast you go. Like in that area, you find Noivern, you find Hawlucha, you find
Yeah.
Gogoat. You know, like they're literally becoming more populous there.
There's probably some hidden
It was
lore
intentional.
there.
It was
Yeah.
intentional.
I mean, we've discussed it.
biggest-
It's obvious.
The biggest hint that I'm mad that like almost everybody missed was the fact that they put all the legendaries, all the box legendaries back into Scarlet and Violet, but not Xerneas and Yveltal. That should have been the sign right there.
Yo,
that should have been
absolutely.
the sign. That
Absolutely.
we're like,
Absolutely.
oh yeah.
Well, what do you think about like? So they didn't have them, but they also didn't have the Tapus and the Ultra Beasts. And the interesting thing about that is you have a connection with Zygarde and Alola, and like presumptuously, like the reason Zygarde was in the Alola region
Yeah, and
was
there's like
because of the Ultra
fifth
Beast
Tapu
invasion.
idea as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But, and like
Emirates.
Guzzlord is supposed to be like an alternate corrupted Zygarde, according to like a couple of theories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean that's like not even theory. It's
I think
Yeah,
James
almost-
James Turner
He's the
Yeah.
destroyer
said it,
of the
right?
ecosystem.
James Turner like brought up the
Oh yeah,
comparison.
like he said it was like designed in mind.
There was
Yeah.
definitely some link between the two that just never fully got fleshed out in
Yeah.
Sun and Moon.
Oh yeah.
100%.
But see, do they flesh it out here? Because Ultra Beasts aren't in Scarlet and Violet as well. So it's like if the Kalos legendaries being absent was a hint for their role, could the Ultra Beasts being absent be a hint at them also having a role?
Dude, the Ultra Beast show up, that'd be crazy.
Give me Mega Naganadon.
It could just like
Please.
show up. You know?
That would be nuts. I would be so happy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people don't like
Game.
them though. But who
Luke's
knows?
raging in the chat right now.
I know.
About the landmass, yeah. Me and Jim.
Yeah. If there was a way to get him on, we could pop him in for a minute, but we have no connection, so that's not gonna happen right now. But is there something else we haven't talked about? Should we log off and go to a Patreon section? What do you guys think?
We didn't talk about the gameplay really. Like we
Yeah.
didn't go
Yeah,
through
yeah,
that
yeah.
part.
Tell me. Let's do it. Let me
Get
pull
us.
it up.
I think it's sick. It's like their phrasing in general is like how I've been talking about the battle system for a while.
Sure.
And almost to a T, this is what I would have done. I don't know if they're going to stick the landing on like execution, because like that's kind of the case with Arceus, where it's like for a long time I've been like, make this an action RPG, and then they tried an action RPG, and in a lot of ways it controls very poorly. Like the boss battles feel terrible to play. As somebody that plays more games than just Pokemon, that's the worst like gameplay I've experienced in an action RPG since like the GameCube. But it's new, like it's new for them, so it's like, all right, fine. So we'll see if they stick to landing. But as far as like how they talk about it, where it's like they're implementing things like timing and positioning, I think that's huge, because that I think is the biggest thing that is currently missing from Pokemon as a competitive game. A lot of people talk about like, oh well, if it's not like this, then how will it be strategic? There's strategy in pretty much every competitive game known to man, but what doesn't exist in Pokemon is positioning and timing. That like inherently makes it less skillful. It's like you still would have to think, you still would have to like do team building and like make sure your stats are good and you have the right moves and stuff like that, but then there's extra things that you need to consider, where it's like, all right, am I positioned right? Like maybe certain moves do different damage if you're in front of your opponent or above them or whatever it is, right? And protect operates differently if you time it wrong, or you know, like the how long a move takes to do will determine whether or not it's a good idea to use certain things. It's like, all right, maybe I don't do protect here because I know that this move has a longer wind up, so I need to time my protect differently. And that just happens. That interaction, I think, is going to happen a lot. The only thing that I'm unsure about so far, and I need to see more of, is like how they handle when you do moves that are not the move that you just did, because there's a cooldown period for like, when I press water gun, I can't use water gun until the cooldown's over. But how do I do, like, what can I click my other move? Can I just spam that way? And also there's like different timing or different cooldowns for different moves. Like water gun refills, I think it's slower than rock slide I was looking at yesterday on my stream. So it's like, it's like, why is that? Like, why?
It may also just be level based.
It could be level based. It could be stat based. It could be because the animation for rock slide takes longer than the animation for water gun. You know, like there's all different types of considerations that could be had that we need to know more of.
I can see it being because like water gun like can kind of hit further, so it's
more of a
whilst rock slide like goes down kind of right in front of you. So it's like, because it doesn't bigger range.
Rebalance these moves like they did in Legends Arceus. Like maybe the base powers are not at all what we're expecting these moves to be.
Possible,
yeah.
I think really the biggest thing about the gameplay that I saw in the trailer that I like is that Mega Evolutions are now on a time limit.
Yes.
So, like, you can't just pop it at the start of the battle and then just sweep somebody. Like, you're going to have to pop your Mega when it matters most.
Yeah.
Which is cool, and also does feel like a continuation of how they implemented it in Pokemon Go. That was something we were theorizing a little bit, and it is kind of nice to see that validated here as like as a real mechanic. And it's kind of cool also because I feel like Megas felt limited because you could only interact with them in that one singular way, which is in battle. But I think there's actually kind of a possibility that you could like activate the Mega, and then because it's on a time, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I like the idea of activating the Mega, and then you can use it almost in the overworld and in battle, and potentially like it could follow alongside you, and it could function like how most other Pokemon do. And I think that is the missing thing for a lot of people with these like battle gimmick forms, is that they're limited to battling. And back to the cozy gamer argument, a lot of people don't like Pokemon because of the battling. They like it because they want to like dress up their Pokemon, or they want to shiny hunt or whatever, right? So like right here, like this 10-pick running, like I want to have a tea party at a cafe, a Colosian cafe with my, Mega for alligator. That's what I want to do.
Can you imagine just sitting there with you? Just there at the table with you?
Just dripping poison. Yeah.
People walking
Dusty, you are so right, because my girlfriend played Scarlet and Violet, and she hated the battles so much. But
Yeah.
she loved sitting down, doing a picnic, and watching her Sprigatito. Like, that was what she wanted to do.
I'm telling you, man.
There's just so many aspects of Pokemon that are like possible to like. Like, I am not a fan of the battle system, but because I love the world and the type of person I am, the type of gamer I am, I'm very familiar with how the battle system works still. I'm very tapped into VGC. And that's why I have so many opinions on why I don't think that it's good.
That's good. I like that. Yeah.
For one of the biggest games in the world, you know what I mean? With as big of a fan base as it has, I think that it caters to the wrong percentage. I think they can please more of their fans if they pivoted.
I love this conversation so much. Absolutely. I'm trying to have my friend Josie on, and she put out a video. It was about like Josie Woe put out a video about like what she wanted for Gen 10, and I hit her up because I was like, the first things that she said was she was like, what if Pokemon introduced it's not dating, but it's like a relationship type thing where where you be like, there's an emphasis, there's the gameplay mechanic on
like Fire Emblem.
Yeah, like play like person to person, not just the Pokemon, right?
Yeah.
So you can you can do side
They
quests.
had that in Scarlet and Violet, where it's like you could make like relationships with like the teachers.
But it's kind of
and whatnot.
meaningless though, you know?
Yeah, it was kind of meaningless. It
So
didn't mean
like
anything.
that's something that's cool because I'm like, oh, I've never thought of that, but that actually would be kind of interesting. The only thing that I've really I'm thinking about the Sims games, or I'm thinking about like Stardew Valley, right? You can get benefits for befriending certain it's just an RPG. It's another RPG gameplay mechanic. So yeah, I like this conversation because there's so many different ways to interpret the Pokemon games. We have I think I totally missed a super chat. Mizu the Parfait says, so will the Volo equivalent just be Soul's boss? And that's just out of context because that was at 2:12, and it's maybe it was like 10 minutes ago. Yeah.
My boss.
I think it depends on what all the answers to those questions are in terms of how do the moves work, and what do the cooldowns mean? What are you locked out of? What can and can't you do? How do stats influence all of that?
Yeah.
I think is the thing.
No, I love this so much. Before we bounce, I do want to show you guys something real quick. This is really cool. We have new merch on our merch store, shop.hiddenpowerpodcast.com. We got Zygarde merch. This is actually a really cool shirt because it's I'm like boring the guests, but this is for you, the listeners. They thought I was gonna pull up like a theory or something.
Yeah.
But this shirt,
plug the merch.
I thought so. I'm
But this shirt's kind of cool because it literally is a theory on a shirt. You got Zygarde here. We got all the cells, hidden power. It's got the Kalos region, and right behind it, there's a little bit of a window tab right here that indicates, or it showcases a little bit of Ultra Necrozma, or at least Necrozma. And that was a fun theory that we had going into this hype cycle, which could still be real. But we got all the Kalos starters. We got a bunch of Kalos Pokemon. This whole merch line, Legendary Aura, is all about the Kalos region and feeling like the main character in your game, but also in real life. So go pick up some merch. Shop.hiddenpowerpodcast.com, and members on Patreon or on YouTube get 10% off with a code that you can claim as a member. But just wanted to shout that out. I can see our designer Noivi's in the chat, and he's like, Dusty, plug the merch. So I just wanted to pull this up real quick before I forgot. Guys, let's go do a Patreon episode. This has been super fun. Thank you for everyone who's showed up, who's supported the stream, who's watched. This VOD will continue to be live on YouTube, so you can go watch it back.
To be clear, too.
Yeah.
A lot of people were gifted a membership. We keep calling it the Patreon episode. It is available for YouTube members only. So once we record this and we have it up, you guys will be able to watch this.
Yeah. I'm going to try to get this offline Patreon, YouTube, member only episode. This is exclusive episode up probably by the end of the day. So, so become a member. You get access to it. Thank you so much for being here. We'll see you soon. Oh, actually, hold on.
Wait.
Hold on. We're with JPR and AJ, and I'm being a bad host. And I didn't plug their channels.
Horrible people.
AJ's channel is Redirect. It's at Watch Redirect on YouTube. He does a bunch of all sorts of great Nintendo video essays. I've been a fan of his channel for a very long time, so I'm honored to just be able to work with him in this last year. But he's got some awesome Pokemon content. Always critically thinking, always thinking outside the box, always bringing a new perspective. And he loves the series so much. But if you like general Nintendo stuff, AJ's got the stuff for you. And then I don't know, AJ, if you want to plug something before I move to John.
If you click on the podcast tab, I think that's where my reaction is for the
Beautiful.
thing. Under live reactions. So if you want to see my thoughts in the moment, that's where you can go. And I'm going to make a more fully thought out version of because I just realized what I usually do for these types of events is I go through and I script a quick little video and be like, this is what I think. But I had too many thoughts. So I'm going to have a video about this.
I can't wait, man.
Within the next week or so.
I'm going to have to watch that.
I want to hit you guys up for your takes as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
man. Anytime.
No, this is so sick. Yeah, there's Trubbish right there, or Garbodor. And then we got JPR right here. JPR has got a Pokemon channel. He has been the I mean, you do a variety of stuff, right? On the on your channel, JPR?
I describe like what I do with my videos, but I just kind of talk about whatever I want to talk about as long as it's Pokemon. So, yeah.
And JPR's been he's been in the space for I think you said since you were 12 years old. That's insane.
14 years now.
Okay.
14 years.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's insane.
Insane, bro.
No, but some of the best high polished videos for Pokemon on the internet. And also, you also have you both have Pokemon podcasts. AJ, yours is directly to you, and
no, I don't have a podcast anymore.
Okay, sorry.
I did have a podcast.
That's how I found AJ. So in my mind, it's
now I just got guest on other people's podcasts.
Nice. Yeah, that's great.
Heck yeah, man.
And JPR is part of the Rocket Radio squad.
That's right. The newly rebranded Rocket Radio Champions No Longer.
Yeah,
because that's a game title.
That's
I
true.
know.
You guys actually
I literally thought about that when it dropped. I was like, dang, good thing they changed their names.
It's still a little weird. I see Pokemon Champions and I think of the podcast first. I'm like, wait, that's not us anymore. That's not us.
Yeah. Listen, we still say like the champs, and then we're like, nah, we gotta.
Wait. Gotta update.
You gotta update it. I know. And Lumi just rebranded too. Lumi's no longer the LumiosePost. He's
Fire rebrand, by the way.
Thank you.
Thank you. Trader Lumi. He's like a little. He's like a little. Yeah.
I'm like a little what? No,
I don't know. I was trying to think of the word. He's a little traitor.
He's a little traitor.
No, I love though that we have Lumiose trainer Zach rebrands to Zaktoshi, and then a game gets announced for Lumio City, and then the champions rebrand to Rocket Radio, and then Pokemon Champions is announced.
There's something there for that.
Games. You're always leaking the games. We're gonna get a Rocket-based game next time y'all decide to rebrand.
There's something there.
Absolutely.
Might be.
And I mean, are we allowed to tease anything, JPR?
Oh, I mean, I don't know. I don't really plan much ahead of time. I just kind of do whatever comes to my mind.
All right.
So,
I won't tease anything. I won't tease anything.
I don't got anything to tease.
No, me neither. Yeah, okay, all right. No teasing. All right, well, yeah, AJ, John, thank you so much. Let's go record some more content. Good to see you guys. And there'll probably be another stream later today. Just saying.
Bye for real this time.
Just saying. Yeah.
Later, y'all.
See ya.
Bye.